recording.
Yeah.
Nice.
Here we are.
Hell yeah. Great. Welcome to the Rotating Tap Comedy Podcast. I'm Steve Vanderplug.
I'm Corey David.
I just got out of some wicked traffic and right into a podcast.
What are you in Boston? You got in some wicked
traffic, man. Yeah.
You do look like you could be a fisherman in Massachusetts.
Fuck
A touch
yeah.
of that. Yeah.
Are we on camera? Right? Is that a camera?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a video stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Get your sunglasses.
Gotta lock it up. Yeah. There's an aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can blur your face out later in post if you want.
It's probably for the best for you.
And actually,
If we're being honest.
Yeah,
I mean,
you'll
on
actually get like
YouTube?
less views if
you
they
could
notice
blur
that
me
people
out.
are.
People will.
Yeah.
It's probably better. No one wants to look at
If
me.
people
so.
figure out his identity, actually, like views will plummet.
and
so.
we'll modulate your
or
voice.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably for the best also. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
spontaneous fermentation.
Yeah.
Spontaneous
fine.
fermentation.
Yeah, but instead of doing the
It's
low
for better.
voice like they always
Yeah,
do
yeah,
on
yeah.
crime
Just
shows,
go
we'll
up
just go
up
super
2
high.
octaves.
We'll just-
I
Yeah.
love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
I'm an alto.
Yeah, based on the
fine.
beard that's trickling out of the blurry face, it doesn't match the voice whatsoever.
Well, yeah. I have a face for radio and a nothing.
I think
for,
you're a pretty
nothing
handsome
for video.
guy. I think you're a pretty
Hey.
good looking dude.
I
I don't know
think-
why
yeah.
you're
There
beating
you go.
yourself
Look
up.
at that. Yeah.
What do you got?
You gotta have more confidence.
It's more confident. I got more confidence.
with those turtle shell glasses of yours.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It really
I'm-
pulls the whole
yeah.
aesthetic.
I believe it's
in.
tortoise.
Yeah, you're
believe
probably
it's
right.
tortoise.
I'm an idiot. I am
So-
uncultured. My Aunt Gail has the same pair. You look
Also, I
better,
just
though.
I just want to be clear. These are not from an actual tortise or turtle.
That'd be
I
fucking
think they're
baller if it
plastic.
was.
I don't want people to get weird about it. Okay,
might have
these
been
are
our
vegan. Okay, I didn't know it was on video. So
Are you
were we on
supposed
video
to
last
break
time?
the fourth
No.
wall?
Okay, good. Okay,
No, we
let's
started
do it.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Okay.
Not a live stream though.
Yeah.
We
That's-
can live stream, but we're not doing it
We're
right now.
good
That's
on
good.
that.
That's good.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, let's make
good.
mistakes.
There's probably
Yeah.
and edit it
Yeah.
out.
yeah.
This just goes on YouTube for weirdos to jerk off to.
Nice. Yeah. All right.
Cool. Well, it
All right,
wouldn't be
can
my
I just,
first
like,
time for
should I just
that.
Make eye contact.
We have a couple of fans that like comment on almost all of our videos, and a few Russian bots.
Yeah, we
And
get some-
so
Nice.
we're
I
like,
You let them ride though. You let the bots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let
yeah.
them run wild.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
just checked the spam folder for the first time.
Yeah, you and what is it? Suncor? What was the fucking people that got hacked by the Russians?
Oh.
Sunbright or?
Facebook.
I think that was the Trump administration.
Well, no, but it was through some kind of like what was it called? Sunbeam or I don't know, some shit.
PlayStation.
Yeah. But their password it was called SolarWinds, and their password was SolarWinds123.
Oh fuck.
You know the Russians hacked that because I don't know. Does,
I mean, you only
does
have
that
to
mean
try
you're
it too.
advanced?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm fucked because that's also my password. Way to go, James.
sorry. Just to edit it. We're not live.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
very true. So we should say that we are at Black Project, Spontaneous and Wild Ales
Yeah.
in Denver. We're super stoked to have these guys back. You guys were one of our earlier episodes. So.
One of my
Oh, good.
favorites as
Yeah.
well.
Hey,
cool.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
good.
Actually,
Yeah.
I do, a lot of times when people are like, "Which episode should I listen to?" This one's always on the list.
Nice.
That's
Hell
good.
yeah.
This one that
Yeah.
we're recording right now. Future,
Yeah.
future reference. We have one coming
Every
up.
future
Yeah.
one.
I'm just
Yeah.
putting the good vibes out.
Yeah,
there.
hell yeah. Like, this is gonna be the best episode.
Put it out in the world
Yeah.
and just let it come back.
Yeah.
That's
It's
all
that
it
confidence,
really
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just introduce yourselves and tell us what you do here for everybody that wasn't listening to the first one.
You should start.
Okay. I guess I'm Alex. I'm the production manager. So I make the beer.
That's a pretty good thing to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I'm James, and I'm the owner. So I profit off of the backs of my wage slaves.
That's good. Somebody has to do it. Yeah, put these motherfuckers to work so you can buy. I saw you pull up in a Ferrari. I get it.
It was indeed.
Wild ales are hot.
You should
right
ask
now.
him about his yacht.
Yeah, ask me about my yacht. It's I was just recently, just earlier today, we're at the tavern and they had like the fucking car
That's out
auction
front?
on. You know,
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
whatever they call it. And it was like a Ferrari 308 from the late 70s. And I was like, man, I want one of those. And I was like, it's probably slower than my Corolla. Fact, it is.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
Probably.
Corolla is faster 0 to 60 than the
Yeah.
Ferrari 308.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which I'll take a Ferrari 308.
Over a Corolla.
But
yeah.
just for the record, I drive a Corolla.
Yeah.
Corolla's a versatile car.
Things are going well.
I had a like $1,000 sailboat. People lost their goddamn minds about
Yeah.
that. So
We did an employee outing on the sailboat once. I legitimately
almost sank.
I spent a lot of the time bailing out.
two people had to
So-
get off of it because it was sinking
As you were
in
saying,
the middle of a lake.
As you were saying that, I was just like, this seems like it's set up for disaster.
Oh, yeah.
Like you have a
Yeah.
team
Yeah.
team meeting out on the sailboat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was. It was
Seems
a
like
great
it's ripe
time.
for disaster.
Yeah. It was
though, where
fun.
It's like
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no wind. I don't know what's up with this thing.
We didn't even try to sail.
It was at the dock.
We literally lowered the anchor in the middle of the lake, and
Yeah.
then like once 8 people were on it, I was like, water's coming in.
Yeah.
And he literally had a beer can with the top cut off
Yeah.
and was fucking bailing
Yeah,
it
yeah.
as
Yeah.
fast as he could for like a good amount of time.
Yeah, like the whole day.
And we're like, hey, if anybody could if we could just keep 2 people swimming at all times, then
Yeah.
that would be good because it
Yeah.
stops when 2 people get off of it.
We had a.
So you
we
took
had
your
a-
dip can that you were
Yeah.
using, and you were like, "Oh fuck!" And then just really, how effective was that?
It's pretty effective.
Yeah, honestly,
Okay,
I mean,
great,
16
yeah.
ounces at a time.
Okay, I was thinking like one of the like half Coors pours.
No.
One of the hazy
Yeah,
cans.
it was a can of some like hazy.
Some
IPA,
hazy,
Yeah,
yeah, some
yeah,
hazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just broke a bottle and he started shoveling water. on
Yeah,
it. Ironically, that's what you also used to christen the ship, and then it sank.
yeah,
and
yeah.
then it went down. So you realize that 8 people is basically the max on the sailboat.
6.
Well, yeah, 6. Yeah.
You're like, but I say 6. Better make it 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give it a shot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so you still have the sailboat.
No, I don't. I
Oh,
don't.
okay.
Yeah.
It's
I
at
got
the
it
bottom
because
of
it
the-
was peer pressure. It was people were. No, I just got rid of it.
I was gonna say boat pressure. It's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like friends with the boat if it's though. I've never owned one, but having a friend that has one.
Yeah,
pretty
it's,
nice.
it's great.
It's pretty
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's like they call boat units. You know, nothing on a boat costs less than $1,000, which might be fine if you have a really cool boat. But my boat was $1,000, so
It's just a piece of wood floating in
pretty
some water.
quickly $1,000. I'm like, what the fuck am I
Doesn't
doing?
look like much, but you should check out the engine on this puppy.
Yeah.
Got NOS in the back. He's ready to ride.
The steering wheel's just a hubcap.
I actually heard that that's the next Fast and Furious. It's going to be all on the water.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
it's all filmed in Cape Cod.
Yeah.
It's-
It would
Wicked
surprise me,
traffic.
actually.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly,
Tom's got
yeah.
a fucking huge
Yeah.
sailboat.
Yeah.
Wicked Furious.
No, he's got like an old '90s Malibu that just like is modded to shit. That's what it would
That's
be.
what-
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what he did anyway. No,
yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting thing, right? Because like, you had these people, like, and to be fair, we're talking about like 3 or 4 people out of many people who were on my Facebook and wanted to make a big deal about this. I posted a picture of me steering my yacht, you know. And,
Did you have the fun hat and everything?
and it was, you know, I have a motorcycle, right? I have a BMW motorcycle, which is not an expensive motorcycle, right?
It's about $1,000.
It's like $4,000.
It's actually what he used to haul his sailboat to
you
the
know,
lake.
but I drive, like I said, I drive a Corolla. So if you add that to my Corolla, like I don't have like, it's not like exorbitant. Also, you know, so my point was, I wanted to respond to these people on my Instagram and be like, no, I don't make a lot of money. I'm just really bad with money.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I just like maxed out my credit card to buy this shitty sailboat.
35K millionaire.
But my
Ever
mom
heard of
sees
him?
my Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
be like, yeah, dude, I took out a loan for this fucking shitty old BMW motorcycle. It's not from money that I have.
Yeah.
I'm really bad with money.
He's just trying to grow his Instagram followers. That's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
he's doing.
I'm like, no. You guys don't understand, but I couldn't say that, so I just had to.
Hashtag BMW. Hashtag motorbike.
I definitely did that. That was part
Hashtag
of it.
sailboat life.
Hashtag yacht.
Yeah, yacht life was a popular hashtag on our Slack channels for a
'cause
long time.
I said hashtag yacht life. To be fair though, we have some agents who are actual sailors, and they were like, they commented and were like, yo.
yeah.
Fucking posers.
Yeah.
They're like, no, they were like, yo, this is not an expensive sailboat. He's clearly on a lake in Colorado. Like,
Yeah.
calm down.
Yeah.
Well, there's not many of them, so
They're
real
not
estate's
that-
not
they're
cheap
not
on a
that-
lake in Colorado.
Well, you know, I don't own property on the
Right,
lake.
right. But I even
I
dock
just
real
own a
estate.
shitty. I took a U-Haul to drop my boat in the lake.
Yeah.
It's luckily a few people defended me, and they're like,
Yeah.
what? I mean, there's people who were giving me shit who spent more than the boat in a single month on my beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
Fact.
like, bro, I can't spend $1,500 a month on beer. I just save up and max out my credit card to buy
Yeah.
a shitty boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I just
Dropped it
run from
on
creditors the rest of my
literal beer.
life.
Right, exactly.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then there was a knock at the door.
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's why I don't
James
have the
left.
boat anymore.
He actually rips his beard off because it was fake the whole time. Runs out the back. No, I've never owned a boat. Motorcycles are fun though. I just had an accident, and
shit.
that didn't deter me necessarily. But I was moving out here like right. I don't know, and I just didn't want to bring it out here. It needed too much work, and I was
Plus,
a
you
little,
had an accident.
I was a little skittish after
Fucked
that
it
too.
up,
So I was
yeah.
like, I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
To Colorado.
What kind of bike was it?
It was a Kawasaki Vulcan.
Nice.
Like an old-
Kawasaki.
it
Good
was-
budget brand.
It was
Or just-
yeah. It was
just
an
screw
old.
shit.
It was my bike. Yeah.
right, Corolla.
This guy knows bikes.
He knows
it's
budget
not.
brands is what
the
he
most
knows,
expensive bike I had was a Yamaha. People still hang up on the BMW thing. I still see it since I'm like, it's not. It's old though. So what does it matter?
Yeah, sure.
Anyway,
Yeah. No, they're super fun though. I miss having them. But yeah, it was an old bike. The bike malfunctioned, and then I malfunctioned
Oh, no.
onto the
Nice.
pavement. Yeah, so that
Oh,
wasn't
yikes.
necessarily great. Yeah, the brake so the brake had locked up.
That's not
and
good.
no, it did not. So then the front wheel basically like seized. So it had locked in the lock position
Right.
while I was going probably like 20.
Yeah, so
Whatever.
anybody who's ever ridden a bicycle can imagine this is going to go
when
super
that-
poorly from that point.
So when that happened, it was so abrupt that the wheel jerked. You know what I
And
mean?
then you just went
I
flying.
just
Yeah.
went over the top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
high side.
Yeah, and then I got the thing to one of my best accounts back in Albany, which was like Oliver Beverage, which is like a beer store, and I just come in and my arm is just like shredded, and I'm
This
like,
is literally, you got up and just got back on it.
yeah. Yeah, because I was like, well, I can't just leave it was in the middle of the road, and
Right, you gotta-
the brakes locked, so I can't like just
But you managed to
move it
ride
to
it
the
from
side
there.
of the road. Yeah, so I basically like as slowly as possible, I'm just like revving the fucking engine, right?
Just pushing against the brakes. Just
yeah,
like
yeah,
wild.
yeah.
Wild.
It was not safe.
Okay,
in
yeah,
any
no, that
regard.
sounds
yeah.
really
I was only
irresponsible.
like a block away from there. You know what I mean? So it wasn't
Okay,
like I was
okay.
going across town or anything
good,
like that. But it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
And so motorcycles are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love
that
'em.
sounds like it. Yeah.
Badass.
If I had driven by, I would have been like Papa Wheelie. Bloody arm.
I legit do that. I shout at people all the time.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was coming down and some dude had like, I don't know, like pegs, I guess. He was standing up on his bike.
like pegs, like on a
Yeah,
like on a
dude.
'90s BMX.
Yeah, but it was on a motorcycle.
He had his
That
12-year-old
exists?
girlfriend on the
Yeah.
back. It was
Yeah.
pretty. It was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Some girls
Yeah.
just riding on the back. Like,
Yeah.
sure, like,
It was
okay.
wild. He was just like standing up and like, I don't know much about bikes. But
Some people say Papa Wheelie. I'm like, do a bunny hop. Let's see if we can get this thing
yeah,
off
holy
the ground.
shit. God damn.
Oh shit. Well, let's get into the casually fun part of the show, which
Yeah.
is the beer chug.
Oh, what
Yes.
about the joke?
Oh, that's after the
It's
chug.
after, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
we changed
excited.
up. We changed up the format a little
Yeah.
bit. We
Yeah,
decided
I
it
love
was
it.
more fun
Maybe I'm
to
used
do
to
the
the old
chug and
format.
then immediately do
Yeah.
then immediately
Yeah.
do the joke
Yeah,
afterward.
yeah.
So we encourage burps, we encourage belching, any crying that you want to do. That's accepted.
Have a
from all.
therapy
I'll
session
definitely
if you
cry.
want.
Yeah.
I'll definitely cry.
Yeah.
Sounds like you needed a beer today anyway.
Yeah.
So we don't have to get into
Yeah,
that.
we'll get
That's
into
a
it later.
traumatic-
It's
we
okay.
can-
Yeah,
we can
that's
talk
that's
about
all-
it.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
to be
loosened
continued.
up.
That's
Yeah.
a TBD. That's called a tease,
After the
boys.
break.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
entertainment
yeah.
biz.
Yeah. Now you know you have to stay for the whole podcast.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's not familiar with how the chug works, thank you.
He didn't
Uh,
chug.
as soon as the beer hits your lips, Steve starts the timer. As soon as it's done, he'll stop. We're gonna heckle you the whole time, and then if the beer is over 8%, you get 3 seconds off of your time. Which Alex, I believe you are doing, right?
Yeah.
Little guest beer, little.
Yeah. I'm stealing some new image for this one. So it's East Coast Transplant.
Double dry hopped.
Yeah, double dry hopped,
the Galaxy
double
one, or-
IPA. It's not Galaxy. I think it's just the standard
Okay.
East Coast. Yeah, but
Tight.
stoked on that.
5%.
It's that
Yeah.
DDH.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
so
Is
it
there a
qualifies.
time limit on this podcast? I mean, you can edit mine for time. To be honest with you.
No, we actually like it if you just
the
took the
chug
whole
is-
episode,
To chug.
and then you actually
That's just
wouldn't be
drinking
talking
beer.
much.
You
So then we
would
could just
hold
talk to
it.
Alex.
I would
Really.
be last. And that would be better. Yeah. 'cause
See,
I'm
actually,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
We can
yeah,
figure out a way to make that work.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
Sounds like
yeah.
pretty casual. You were,
Yeah.
hey,
He just
I
shuts
gave you
down.
the option to not do it if you didn't want to because you already
no,
had a time.
I
But you
just
were like,
want
you
to
know
find
what?
out what my old time was and beat that.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like 38 seconds or so. It's not
I
great.
feel like that sounds way faster than I could do it. So I'm not sure.
I don't know, man. That's
It
a
was
long
Seltzer last
time.
It was Piquet last time we did Top
Yeah.
Secret.
We did have our first new leader in about 8 months on the new image episode,
Yeah,
and
so
we
it's
also
a
had our
fraction of a
most.
second is the record now.
We had our potentially most trashed person on the episode, that
Yeah,
last episode
same
as
here.
well. So if you haven't listened to it, you should go ahead and do that because it was pretty entertaining. But yeah, the new leaderboard is 0.3. The new leader is 0.35 seconds.
Crazy.
Which is
So
fucking
nuts.
nuts.
Yeah.
And yeah, then if you get on Apple Podcasts, you should give a 5-star rating.
Yeah, we're on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, give it 5-star.
Have you? Have you given us a
Well,
5-star rating?
I use Podkicker or Pod. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but you can't rate on it. But otherwise, I would.
We're not leaving until you go
Yeah.
on.
I have an
Apple
Android. I can't even
Podcasts.
get Apple Podcasts. I would if
Give
I
us
could.
a rating.
I would if I could. He can.
Support the show. We don't have
Alright.
to do it right now.
He's
I'll
gonna
do
do
it
it right
right
now.
now,
He's-
yeah.
he's
But make
probably
sure you
already
gotta
done
read
it.
the
Just give us
you gotta
5
read,
stars.
read the
Write
review
a
though.
fucking heartfelt review.
Write a review.
behind it.
You guys give out like
5
T-shirts
stars.
for like you like choose a review or anything. Well,
the
if you
best
don't, you
reviews?
can just edit this out. So.
No.
I'm
I'm happy to
feeling
give you guys a T-shirt. I got some-
bullied into writing a review.
I don't want a
so-
T-shirt.
That's how success works.
I listen to some podcasts where like if you write a review, then like we take all the reviews of the month and then we give you like a T-shirt. You may not even have T-shirts, so
Isn't that
We're
kind
gonna
of
have
like
T-shirts.
just give them that shirt. I don't know.
Yeah,
They don't care. Just give
me
them
your
whatever
shirt. Give me
shirt.
your
Yeah,
shirt.
sure.
Give
Just
me that
I'll
one.
give them my shirt.
Great.
Give me
You
that
pick
one.
One review, but not his, and then I'll just yeah. But after
But if
the
it's the best
camera's
review,
off,
we got to
there's
give
no
it
one
to him.
wants
It's
see
the best one we
me
got to give it to him.
bare chested.
Yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
gonna give some thought into it.
Yeah,
it's
please.
gonna
I
be
appreciate that.
yeah.
No, I
yeah,
don't use
that's nice.
iTunes. So.
How vulgar can I be?
That's apparently Apple edits a lot of swear words.
Ah,
out.
really?
Yeah,
They,
that's
like,
fine.
censor it?
That's fine.
yeah, they censor it. Yeah. So if you like look at somebody's review, ass will be like, "Hey, asterisk, asterisk." It's weird. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess fair. enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just use a lot lot of racial slurs.
Oh
If
boy,
that's okay.
yeah,
because that doesn't
Just
hit the
get into
filter.
it.
as
Please
well.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Make sure it's not an Alex from Black Shirt.
Yeah. Alex from not Black
Black
Project.
Sky. Black.
Yeah,
got a
Black
review
Bottle.
Bottle.
Black, yeah,
I don't
Black.
know.
We
There's
got
lot
a
of them.
review here from Dave from Ska. And
Yeah.
just use a moniker. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, who's going first?
Alex is
Oh,
going.
Alex is going to go. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Trying to break that leaderboard.
Let's get it over with.
8-5.
I'm not
You guys
gonna
can
be
continue with the podcast
I
while
think
I'm
you
drinking
can.
my beer.
Thank you.
I have faith in you.
All right.
Oh yeah.
I don't have faith.
Good stretch.
You guys they're both timing it. It's like the Olympics. There's better timing than the Olympics right now.
Cool.
Maybe.
Michael Phelps. The Michael Phelps of beer chug.
There you go.
I
thought you
mean,
said we
really
were gonna heckle
impressive.
Slowed
Really, I mean,
down a little halfway, but we'll see how it goes.
What was the time?
We'll give it to you.
we'll talk about
We'll give it
Oh,
to you.
man.
Let me slow it down a little halfway. What does
Slow
that
down
mean?
a little halfway. I'm just saying, if you wanted to get into the top 10.
What was
Yeah.
That sounded painful.
that? Was probably like 6 seconds or something.
I don't know. We'll find out. So,
I'm familiar with
what
how
did
long
the
6
seaman
seconds is.
say when he crossed the road? Oh no, I fucked up the joke.
They'll edit that out.
We'll edit this.
For
We'll
like
edit this
5
part out.
We won't
No,
edit
hold
that
on.
out,
Yeah.
but good
why?
joke, good
Why?
joke.
Why did the seaman cross the road? Because I put on the wrong pair of socks.
That's good. That's good.
That's so
disgusting.
And by the way, with all the requests to edit the show,
They don't do that.
I think we've done. We're gonna have about 10 seconds at this point of the show.
Yes. Yes.
Mostly just start after this.
Yeah.
Just
Belch
let's
is
just
good,
start over.
but I liked the trifecta that you just did there. It was a good chug. It was 8%. It was a good joke, and you had some great belching.
You were fucking
you.
ready. Nobody has ever been that prepared and
What was
just
the-
fucking
what
rapid
was the
fire.
time?
Yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll
We'll
get
get
to them
there.
after you do
I know,
yours.
the
What was my
anticipation
last
is-
time? Can you tell me that?
We'll
I
get
will.
there.
I will tell you after you chug.
Nice.
Well, that doesn't. It doesn't help me.
Well,
I,
just
He
be.
needs motivation.
All you
He
need to
wants
know
to-
is be a little better.
I don't know. It's probably gonna be worse. To be honest. Can I put this on my throat while I do it? Like for real?
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's gonna be long.
Unorthodox, but I like it.
Very interesting, but yeah.
It's good.
it up, right?
Yeah, right here.
I can hear
It's in my eardrum. It's gonna haunt my dreams.
Get ready. Here we go. All right. It's not gonna be fast, but it's gonna be graphic.
It's gonna be pretty cool.
That's what I tell my girlfriends.
It's like one of those voice box things that people hold up when they've smoked
Yeah,
too many
yeah,
cigarettes and
yeah.
they've got the jerky out of you or whatever.
Just a bass nectar song, I think.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. All right. All right.
Okay. Do you say go or do I just?
Whenever you go, I'll go also.
This is the first one that I can hear the best, so it's gonna win for best sounding chug for sure. I feel like there could be a
nominee
way.
ever-
There
as-
could be a way that maybe we can make artwork out of the modulations of the, of the audio.
He's soaking his beer too.
And if you guys,
Yes.
if you guys could hang that up in the brewery
Yeah,
somewhere,
absolutely, yeah,
I think
it'll
that would
just
be pretty
art,
awesome.
yeah.
All right. Okay.
It's good.
Yeah.
That's the good
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Do you like that idea, James? If I could create a piece of art based on the modulation of
You
your.
make some dubstep out of that?
Yeah.
Hell
Yo,
yeah.
we'll play that every time we're open.
Just the tap room is that on
100%.
repeat.
Yes, I approve.
I'll figure out a way to get that done because that'd be a dope piece. Be like, what is that? It looks a little unorthodox. You're like, that's James chugging a beer. I don't see it.
Microphone to his Adam's apple as
Yeah.
he slowly chug
You
the
could
beer.
do that as a whole installation. You could become rich, and if people don't get it, they're just, not into art.
I mean, I don't know if I'll ever be Toyota Corolla rich, but I get
No.
there.
Let's calm down here, okay? If you're about to get Toyota Corolla rich on my chug sounds, I'm gonna
Oh yeah,
need,
he wants royalty.
I'm
That's
gonna need some
how-
royalties on that.
Listen, this is Motown, baby. I'm taking all that money.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm only aiming for $1,000 yacht. Is my goal. So,
All right, where's that joke?
Okay, so 2 nuns are sitting on a park bench. Someone walks up in a trench coat and flashes them. The first one has a stroke. The second one couldn't reach. All right.
That was a
slow
thinker.
burner.
That was a thinker. That was a stinker
thinker.
thinker.
All right.
That was a stinker thinker.
I think about hand jobs more than you, apparently. So
Yeah.
it came to me real quick. But What, are you about to pour me sour beer? Yeah. All right. Okay.
okay.
He's sick of all this sour stuff, man. He wants the beers that he tapped from other people that he really likes.
Yeah, I'm mostly just drinking Pilsner.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Hey man, it's good to drink your own brand sometimes.
Yeah, every once in a while.
I like it. I like
But
it.
you
yeah.
guys, so you
What's
did-
this one? Oh, Gemini.
Yeah.
do you guys have slow pour on all the time now?
We do either slow pour or we always have a beer stat on.
Okay.
Yeah, we're actually moving towards having probably.
That's deep.
I'd like to have 4 or more guest taps. We're going to add more taps, but I'd love to have. I mean, we only make sour beer for the very much most part.
Yeah.
And so I'd love to have guest taps on all the time and kind of make this kind of also just a cool beer bar where there's 4 or 6 or 8.
Do you slow pour the
Cool,
Pilsner?
cool guest. We are supposed to, yeah.
But
That's
then
why-
sometimes
yeah,
we
yeah.
get busy, you know.
Yeah.
And-
No. Occasionally people are like, "What the hell is the wait?" And it's like,
Yeah.
well, if you don't want to wait, then listen.
Hobson Pie, you can get a fucking pitcher of slow pour, and I'm like, that's fucking miserable.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Why
I mean,
are you doing that?
I get it all the time at Alamo when I go to see a movie and it's in a shaker pint and it's like stadium pour. There's no head, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh my god, Bill, I would hate this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
At
I'm
that
watching the
point-
movie, so whatever. Like,
At that point, just get Hellas instead of like.
they don't
shitting
have
on
Hellas
slow
though. They
pour.
just have slow pour.
Oh really?
Oh, they
At
got
Alamo,
some-
yeah.
No. I mean, as a.
Oh,
beer
they might as well.
buyer.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Alamo should probably just have Hellas
Yeah.
because probably it's just it's equally as
Yeah.
people into it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Pills has a little bit more cachet to it, whether it's
Yeah.
from Bierstadt or not, right? Like people
It's-
get Hellas on the menu and they don't know what the fuck that is.
Then
but
it's
they know
true,
Pilsner, right?
but they know Pilsner because Budweiser says like a fine Pilsner beer. But Hellas from Bierstadt is probably closer to the Budweiser beer drinker, I think.
Oh, yeah, no
than,
doubt.
Than
No,
slow
no,
pour
I'm with
because
you.
it's not as hoppy. It's just like it's kind of sweet and like real calm.
yeah.
This is pretty interesting. I really want to
What
talk
did you?
about
What
the
is
times.
this? What is it?
Oh yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
I'm fucking excited
About
to
the
bring up
times?
these times.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Let's do this.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Normally we make you wait a little bit. in
I was
anticipation,
I was
but
the
I'm
longest
fucking
one
excited
ever.
for this.
Okay.
Now, hardly.
Heard that before.
Hardly. Hey, hey.
Again, hard.
Did you hear about the nun that jerked off a guy at the park? Fuck, that's the punchline.
I said it wrong. Goddamn
Jizz.
Catholic school messing me up.
Why did the seaman wear socks? Damn it!
To get to the other side of the road.
I'm never gonna make it in this town.
James.
Okay. Yeah. Start with me.
Your previous time was 24.52 seconds.
I feel like that's pretty fast, honestly.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
as bad as I think you were
I mean,
trying
it's
to make
not
it out to be.
0.35 seconds.
And if you move the decimal place around a little bit, it's better.
It's
Technically,
the decimal place. It's still an order of magnitude off, basically, but it's fine. Okay, so it's fine.
what's
yeah.
his new one?
Yeah,
So your new time,
yeah,
I'm excited to tell you,
yep.
was a whopping improvement to 22.7.
Yes! Hey, buddy.
But listen, with surround sound,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Might be our coolest joke.
I
so far.
recorded a dubstep track at the same time as
Yeah.
drinking it. So
That's
who else on the
multitasking.
list can say that? No one's
No,
ever done that.
nobody.
before?
No.
That kind of surprises me.
Nobody.
Well, nobody listens to dubstep anymore. I think.
Well,
is
I don't
what
either,
said.
but I used to. It was a time.
Yeah. Drugs are cool.
Yeah. I still do drugs. I still listen to dubstep while I do
Yeah,
it.
I've
I know-
moved on.
I know
I'm
listen
a
to
mountain
dubstep,
folk
but-
man now.
Yeah,
And I'm rolling
yeah.
my ass off.
Alex, your previous time was 4.96 seconds. You were in the top 10 leaderboard for some time.
Yeah.
until we decided to add the rule of 3 seconds off for an 8%.
Right.
Do you think you did better or worse this time?
Woof. Including the handicap?
No, not including the handicap.
I probably did worse.
Okay. Okay.
I think you might have done a little better.
You-
I would put it in my head. You were about 3 to 4. What was it? 3 point or 4? It was 4.9 or something
It
before.
was 4.96.
Okay.
I'd put you right about 4 flat this time,
4 flat.
but then you get -3. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the actual time,
Yeah.
you did improve
Hey.
by 1/100th of a second.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Yeah.
precise.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
4.95 seconds, which is enough to tie comedian Nick Dean for last place in the top
Hey,
10.
man. Fuck you, Nick Dean.
Last place
Yeah, fuck
in
you.
the last place in the top 10.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
Big
I
hell
like
yeah,
how you
hell yeah.
put
Did
it that way.
Welcome back.
Yeah, yeah.
Welcome
Last
back.
place, not 10th.
Yeah.
It's
Last
technically,
place.
last
it's technically-
place.
it's technically tied for 9th.
Yeah, way to
Last
diminish
place.
the achievement immediately.
In the top 10. Of all of them, you're not
All right,
last
well,
of anybody,
so
but
obviously,
you're last of the top 10.
Yeah. Obviously, what's got to happen is a little later, I got to pull a Brandon Caps and do it again.
Yeah, I think so.
yeah,
Yeah. Because
yeah.
now you know your throat's a little warmed up.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
how it feels.
Yeah,
You need a
yeah,
little help
yeah.
warming it up.
I'm all right.
know.
I'm
Okay.
all right.
Yeah,
He's real good at loosening up his throat and letting things go down.
I'll sit on it like
Oh boy.
I'll sit on a bottle like a penguin for.
Okay. All right. That has nothing to do with chugging it, but okay.
He said warm it up.
Oh, warm the bottle up. I
Oh,
was
you
going to
meant
warm his throat.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do that.
Okay.
And then
well,
I'll
you
do
can
that,
warm
and
the
I'll
bo-
sit on
yeah,
the
yeah,
bottle.
it's going to get fun here later,
yeah.
guys. We can leave the cameras on or not. I don't know. Either way.
That
We
part
will.
just goes to the OnlyFans.
Isn't the only time I've been double teamed.
You guys have an OnlyFans? Nice.
Premium content.
Yes.
Fox like, no, I'm ready
Thirsty.
for this. I've been
Yeah.
been there
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
That's all the
I've worked for James for almost 4 years. I have done
Believe
a
me,
lot
all
of
the
shit.
Everything you're going to come up with has happened here.
Yeah.
You paid for that yacht.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, the Black Project. We should get an OnlyFans and legit just like have.
No.
Behind the scenes,
Whatever you're gonna say.
No, but just have it be. But wasn't okay. So I don't know about OnlyFans, to be quite honest with you.
yeah.
Literally, I don't watch
It's
porn. on
porn.
OnlyFans.
It's just porn.
I mean, I know it is, but wasn't there some girl who's just like a TikTok star? I don't know about TikTok. Stars.
She ruined OnlyFans. I can't remember her name, but
There's
she
some-
ruined.
there's some
the
girl
girl
who was-
from Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
It's the girl
What?
from the girl that was like Catch Me Outside.
No,
That girl.
This is the same person.
There's another girl.
I feel like it was the girl that shit on somebody's chest that ruined
No,
it.
nope. I don't think that's what I'm talking about.
100%
That's not what I'm-
disagree because that
No, there was
improved
some
OnlyFans.
girl.
Okay.
She's a cute girl, but she did like.
I'm gonna text Olivia about it
She did
because
sexy
she
videos.
knows.
Well, make sure we're talking about the same thing.
We
I'll
talk-
describe it.
Go
You
ahead,
text
yeah.
her, and you get the name. She did like did like kind of sexy videos, but she didn't show any nudity at all.
Okay.
And then she went on like her Instagram, right? Where you can't show any nudity, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this video where I do." I don't know. She said something that like implied it was going to be porn, and then she like charged people a bunch of money for it, right? And then it was like not porn. it was like the same shit.
She reposted her Instagram pictures.
Yeah, like she
we're
always
talking about the same girl.
Yeah,
I just
I
don't
forget her
remember her
name.
name. But yeah, so basically before that,
she's tricked a bunch of simps. Like
Yeah.
they paid tons of money to see
Before
the videos.
that-
You technically
And it
don't
was no
have to
different.
put porn on OnlyFans. Like you could.
That's
you
what I'm
can
saying.
right,
use
sure,
it for
but
whatever
so
you want.
before
It's
what
like-
if you're
ruined
just-
it is that OnlyFans didn't have a maximum like charge you could do. A maximum like sub cost, right? So you could like be like, oh, if you want to subscribe to my OnlyFans, her
charged,
name
like,
is Bella
1,000.
Thorne,
Okay.
and
I
she
know the
sucks.
name.
Yeah, she's awful.
she
Because
awful?
because
It
she
sounds cool.
ruined small content creator porn. Because these people were
Now I can't give them past my usual cap of $10.
that's what I'm saying, man. But like really,
She charged a ton, and then
yeah, she
tricked
was
him.
like
She
and-
tricked him.
Yeah,
was the point.
Yeah,
She was hoodwinked.
Yeah, she was
It
like
was not porn.
$100 per sub. She made a fuck ton of money.
And then she just
And it was just Instagram posts, and then OnlyFans was like, all right, well, like now the new cap is like $50 or something like
you
that.
can't charge that much because
Right.
you might be tricking people.
Right, exactly.
So she was.
yeah.
I mean, she already posted like kind of sexy videos.
Right.
I guess, but she wasn't
nothing-
naked.
she wasn't showing
naked.
anything,
It was-
yeah.
She was just in like a swimsuit or whatever.
Honestly, man, if
and
you
then
can
she
dupe
just did
anybody-
more of that, but charged people money.
If you can dupe people into
Didn't she-
that,
is this the same girl who sold her bathwater for like gobs of money?
Oh,
and then
I don't
afterwards
know.
was like, "Fuck you, fucking losers!" Like she charged like tons of money and was like, "That's fucking you're
Yeah,
all,
then
I'm
at
gonna
that
do
point-
that.
you're
though.
disgusting." Like
then at
Yeah,
that point,
but-
that's on
but-
the buyer. You know what I mean? Like I'm not.
Yeah, well, hold
they were
on. What
probably
if
not
they have a
like gross about
degradation kink and like a bathwater kink, right? So then she's
Yeah.
like, "You're a
They
fucking
clearly had a
loser."
bathwater
And some
kink.
dude that's like paid her $1,500. You're just like, yeah, I'm fucking loser.
I would have
yeah.
paid more for that if you'd have told
Right.
me you were
It's
going
like, oh, you
to
should've
call
done
me
that
an
beforehand.
asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'd have known you were going to call me a worthless piece of shit, you just lost $50.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
So
Yeah,
many people who buy bathwater, everybody already thinks they're losers for that. You know
Yeah.
what I
I
mean?
just hope that that's packaged correctly and not like a Ziploc bag. Like maybe like one of those boxes like for Starbucks
Like,
that
like
they
an Algene
use.
or like some kind of.
Yeah.
She clearly is doing pretty well. She has a bathtub. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe
I've only been able to afford a place with a stand-up shower for years.
Nice.
It's a bomber. Can I get a bomber of bathwater, please?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
22 ounce.
A growler.
It's got a capper on it.
Honestly,
It's
sounds like
overcarved when they get in.
Oh,
Fucking-
Jesus.
honestly sounds like a good
fermenting.
collab opportunity for you guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
I'll text her.
It's like, hey, Belle, it's me again.
Hey,
So remember when I bought that bath water and then I subscribed to your link and
Hey,
you
Alex,
messaged me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
It's like,
So
hey, Alex, you
people
want
want
to
us
see
to
my
bottle that.
Hey, Alex, you want to see my feet again? No, something else actually.
Jesus.
So good. I haven't changed my nail polish since yesterday, so I'm glad you didn't need a repeat.
This is great.
Yeah, you like that?
This is so good.
It's a collab we did with Superstition. So we're talking about a beer, Super Dreadnought. It is a tequila barrel-aged honey beer with passion fruit, pineapple,
Hell
and
yeah.
toasted coconut.
Oh
It's
man,
so fucking
yeah,
good.
yeah.
the coconut like really doesn't hit you until like the back of your tongue.
It's
either.
perfect, man. Yeah,
It's got this weird like coconutty sweetness at the end.
yeah.
Not weird. I mean good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Nah, man, we're crazy.
Yeah.
We're
Whoa,
good.
look at us. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
You come
I
in
say
here,
weird
it's
and-
like kind of goth,
Yeah.
but kind of like Etsy too. You know?
Yeah, that's our whole aesthetic, man.
But I will say it's weird the kind of language that like Alex and I would use to describe beers.
Yeah.
We don't put on bottles.
Yeah.
This is one of those things you know what you're talking about. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you're talking to the
it's-
wrong guy. We don't
Yeah,
know
100%.
shit about what
Yeah.
we're talking
We're not
about.
normally speaking that into a microphone, but
No, that's
if
okay.
we sit down to blend beers, yeah, it's like I'm like, oh, this is that or this is that, and it's
Yeah.
like, well,
No, I mean,
not-
we do the
not
same thing.
no-
Yeah, you can we can and like
not in a bad amount.
But we do the same thing with
No.
comedy, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Like people don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's so commonplace
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
say stuff
yeah.
and you're like, that
Yeah.
seems like you didn't like it. And, no, I liked it. It just was this.
Yeah.
Or
it's
yeah.
like just like knowing what you're talking about and being able to use like heightened language that is relevant to what you're talking about.
And, yeah,
that like the layperson
exactly.
would be like, I don't like necessarily track. It's like
Yeah,
there's
Sure.
like conversations. I bet you guys could start talking and I have no fucking idea what you're saying.
Right.
Right. Like and like
you could talk
like
about,
being-
we could
even
all
if
watch
it's-
the same comedy bit, and you guys would say shit, and I'd be like, well,
Yeah.
anyway, I thought it was funny. I don't know.
I-
You're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like saying stuff, and I'm like, I don't
Sounds
know.
like
who
you're
talking-
thinking too hard.
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I
I
said
get
something
yeah,
about
this
being.
is like a half back pedal. So coconut tastes good. Okay.
It is. Yeah, no, it is good.
Yeah,
I said
no.
something about being passed at a club once, and people were like, "That sucks," and it's like, "No, it's really, really good."
Yeah.
What
Do
does
you
that
know what
mean?
that phrase
Exactly.
means?
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
passed
Passed
at
at
a
a
club.
club. Yeah.
If you get passed, it's like you passed on to
No,
not.
so you get to do another show there.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Because I even, as I said that, I was like, no, that still sounds like you died.
It sounds like they
Yeah.
passed. It sounds like or it sounds like they passed on you.
Right.
Yeah,
Like they were like, no, we passed.
No,
Please
that
don't come
exactly.
back.
means like,
Yeah.
Right?
no,
I
like
would
you
think that.
like you passed the test, basically.
Right.
And, you
Nice.
and now you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
work here. Right?
Okay,
You
cool.
did
Yeah.
your one. People liked it.
Yeah.
And
You did your
can
one.
Come back every
Yeah.
Thursday or
You
whatever.
did your one 5,000 times.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did your
Oh,
one.
it takes more than once. It's like
Yeah.
you keep
Well,
doing
it's
it.
a
They're like,
goal.
no, he's bringing funny shit every time.
Those instances can
And-
be a little different. It's so at a system like Comedy Works, they literally have like a tier system that you have to move through in order to
Okay.
get past and work the weekends, right?
That makes sense,
But
kind of,
then
right?
there's,
Like,
yes,
yeah.
and then there's other ones where you literally just do an audition spot basically, and they're like, yeah, now you can work here.
No.
You
Yeah.
did- it's
Yeah.
truly like
Send
a
them an
one time,
email.
and they're like,
Yeah.
everybody hated you, so
So
go
probably
away.
not. Yeah. So
Right.
maybe keep working on it a little bit.
Yeah.
People
And
weren't
maybe in
digging
a
it.
few months we'll let you do that again.
Yeah,
See if it's funny.
Comedy Works
Yeah.
system is one of the. It's at least it's efficient from a standpoint of you know where you stand because you know what tier you're in.
Right.
It's not this guesswork
Yeah.
of do I have to just schmooze with the club owner or do I just have to show
Right,
up
right,
and hang
right.
out or
Yeah, is it networking and schmoozing, or is it that I need to be funny? Or
how many more guest spots do I have to do in order to
Sure.
get past? Like, so you at least get it. You know where
Yeah.
you kind of stand, even if you don't know when you're going to get that bump.
I
You
gotta
just,
be
like,
honest. I've been to Comedy Works a couple times, and I think almost every time I felt that I didn't go to see some like huge big name that I was like. I mean, I'm not a comedy like super comedy fan.
Yeah.
I didn't always recognize the headliner, but many times the first these are like three people, right?
Total.
Many
Yeah, yeah.
times
Yeah,
the
usually.
the first and second people I found funnier than the headliner.
Yeah, we do that here.
Um,
That's a big thing about Denver. Or
Yeah,
People-
the local. It's probably
the-
local.
the
They're probably
locals-
tier 2 or something. and
they-
The
they're,
local
you
comics
know.
are really fucking good.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
started like a lot of regular headliners have started bringing their own features because the locals here will bury them. So when they go up on stage, there's
yeah.
like nothing
Another
left.
comedy.
'Cause
term.
it's a
Do you
bit of
guys-
a drag.
Do you guys know what that means? To
Bury
somebody?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it's like
like
I
a
mean,
drag,
I've
yeah.
seen it with music too, where I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
anyway,
Yeah,
we can go whenever
It's
you
like, yeah,
want.
yeah, we
that
can
that
peace
opener
out.
was
Yeah.
real good, and this is kind of not as good.
Yeah.
yeah.
It happened one of the last concerts I went to.
Yeah.
I saw Chon and Between the Buried and Me, and Between the Buried and Me opened for Chon. I don't know if you guys know these bands. Like,
I know,
Yeah,
I know
no,
between
no.
the buried and
Okay,
me.
so
Yeah, yeah.
Chon is just like all instrumental, like prog metal.
Okay.
But Between the Buried and Me opened for Chon, which like fucking blows my mind
Weird.
because like
Yeah.
Between the Buried and Me is like god tier. Me and David, the other brewer here, went together, and Between the Buried and Me like wrapped up their set. And we walked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like Chon was like starting to play, and it was like I have no interest in this. I was like,
Yeah.
I just saw like one of the best bands of all time. Like I don't care about these like 19-year-olds. Like they're good in their own right, but it's like
Yeah.
it just like totally like unenticed me to see them. I was like,
Yeah,
just, like,
I mean,
Yeah,
it just
we-
ruined their set, you know, because
Yeah.
whatever they had prepared
was,
just wasn't gonna stack up to what you just saw.
Exactly, yeah.
So you can only hang on for so long. You're like, all right, halfway through, you're like, I'm good.
We went and
like,
saw.
if you are,
I can't remember the
especially
names.
at a
of the-
concert too, because you're there. For
I feel
so
like
long.
we saw. I think we saw Soulstaffer open for somebody else, or maybe Soulstaffer was the headline. But anyway, the opening band was great.
Yeah.
And then the headliner came out, and like the guy was obviously super drunk.
yeah.
Like
That
he like
sucks.
dropped
That's
his
always
dropped
awful.
his guitar like a lot
Oh,
several
shit.
times. Like like the strap like wasn't on there,
Yeah.
and then like it like fell. It's like very loud.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, and then like having it again, you're like, oh, like if it happens once, you're like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, that sucks, dude.
Yeah.
And it happens again, you're like,
something's amiss.
yeah, and then it's like, and then it's like, it
Wait
doesn't
just a
sound
minute.
very good.
Yeah.
Like it seems
Yeah.
like you're not really
Yeah.
fully.
Well, and it's easier to bail. I feel like it's easier to bail at a concert because you've already been there for so long. A lot of times, if you did
Yeah.
show up for the opener,
Yeah, you've been there for
Yeah.
like 2 hours. You're like, I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of music.
yeah,
so-
especially between their set and a set break, and
Right,
then you
right.
spent half
Yeah.
an hour listening to
Yeah.
the first part of the headliner's set, and you're like, all right, well,
This is good for
Yeah.
me. This is
they've
good.
only got
Yeah.
they've only got Bud Lights left here.
Yeah,
Right.
and
So,
you're
like,
just
I'm
like,
gonna fucking
yeah,
use
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
drinking shots of
100%,
Fireball and like
100%.
warm PBR. All right,
It was,
Boy, this is living.
yeah.
This is the good stuff. I really do love this beer.
It's delicious.
So can you tell me a little bit about the brewery you collabed on it with? 'Cause
Oh,
I'm not as familiar
they're
with
not a brewery; they're a meadery
okay.
out in Prescott, Arizona.
it. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
You
so
said it right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Prescott.
Yeah, Prescott.
If you're a
yeah.
real noob, you say Prescott.
Yeah, Prescott.
Apparently,
yeah.
that's
yeah.
not right.
Yeah, yeah.
I would-
actually Jared, who used to work there, now lives here.
He says Prescott.
No, he says Prescott. He
Okay.
he learned me real quick.
Yeah, it's Prescott.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
he
like
learned
you
me
know,
real
learned
you know
quick.
me
that,
good.
you know
Yeah,
that
he
town,
learned me
you know
up
that town in
real good.
Virginia where Ouzelfinch is near. It's Norfolk. You know how you
Norfolk.
say? No, it's
Norfolk. No, what is
Norfolk.
it? Norfolk.
It's like
Fuck.
F-U-C-K.
No, they say Norfolk.
Norfolk. Norfolk.
Yeah.
How did okay? So there has to
it's
be a
not
precedent
Norfolk.
that sent.
People will be like, "What are you talking about?"
Huh.
Please don't. Say
That's
that.
like Louisville.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. If you
Yeah.
say Louisville, people are like,
Yeah, they get the
you
fuck
mean
out.
the one
Even
in,
if you say like
Central
Louisville,
Colorado?
it's like
Louisville, like only if you're talking about
yeah.
the baseball
yeah.
bats.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Go
yeah,
away.
yeah.
No, we need to hear the ignorance
Yeah.
in the tongue roll. That's what we.
we want your tongue to vote for Mitch McConnell.
Oh,
And then
Yeah, in most places, it's actually McConnell, but there it's McConnell.
I have no idea how to say his name, to be honest with you. And I don't care.
now I'm worried that I'll say it wrong.
Yeah, but what's weird to me is there was a precedent set at one time. So you have someplace like Greenwich, Connecticut, right, which is
Sure.
not phonetically correct at all. But then there's a town in New York that's Greenwich.
Yeah.
It's not that far from Connecticut. So who founded another town
And they
that
got it
spelled
wrong.
the same?
Well,
And then
so-
they were like, no. We're gonna be different.
Yeah.
We're gonna be.
Supposedly that's how what I would call there's a town. There's two towns called
so many towns.
in Spanish,
Two
right?
old towns.
In Spanish it's called Buena Vista, right?
Oh,
and
it's
there's one in
Buena Vista.
Colorado.
Yeah, it's
there's
Buena,
also
yeah.
there's also one in Iowa. They're both Buena Vista, and I asked about that. Some people from BV in Colorado. and they were-
BV because you're afraid
and they were
to
like,
fuck up
listen,
the
yeah,
pronunciation of
yeah, they were
Buena
like, they were like,
Vista.
listen, Buena Vista is fine. But the original people who named the town would have called it Buena Vista because they were like German. This is secondhand, so I
Yeah.
hopefully no
Yeah.
historians are listening to this. They're gonna be angry.
I'm
But
gonna stop drinking our
yeah,
beer.
they're gonna be big mad. But
Good
yeah, they
plug
said-
for our sponsor.
they said- but they were like,
Historical
you
Society
know,
of Denver.
they're like, yeah, right. They're like real close to the at the time what was Spain, right? Spanish territory at the time was like southern Colorado. and I guess they were like, well, we want to get that vibe. But they didn't speak Spanish, so they were like, no, it's Buena Vista. And I'm sure the Spaniards were like, what the fuck?
And if you go down there, you know it's all about the vibes.
It's all about the vibes.
Hanging out
They're all about
BV,
the vibes.
hanging-
Buena vibes.
Sorry,
Buena vibes.
sorry, in BV this weekend, bro.
BV. That's why I say BV, because I'm like, I don't know what's right. I
let
don't
it be
wanna-
known, there does seem to be an insistence in Colorado on not saying things phonetically correct.
Hell no.
Yes.
Why
Yeah.
would we waste our
Yeah.
time saying things phonetically correct?
I'm just saying it looks very clear as day, and then you're like, and then somebody calls you a fucking idiot.
Well, we've got time to, say that.
What
but
about
yeah,
that? What about
Mountain,
that?
No
that
time.
street called. It looks like Galapagos, but without the
Galapago?
S. Yeah, Galapago.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
And, and there may be a good
I
reason
mean,
for why
that's,
it's called that.
I mean, I think that also is another pronunciation thing, just like the islands.
Right, but the
Right.
islands are the Galapagos.
What about
Or are they the
bucktail? How do you explain
Galapagos?
bucktail?
I don't think they're the
All the
Galapagos.
roundabouts there are called archipelagos.
Yeah, I don't know.
God damn it.
Hey, you
I
know
used
what?
to live right by
Comedy's
Galapagos.
pretty hard, all right? Comedy's pretty
Yeah,
tough.
yeah,
So
yeah. No,
I'm glad
that's
can-
great.
I actually
people
lived on
either usually
Galapago for a
laugh
while.
at my
It's
jokes or they
Galapago.
love them, So
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
But if you said you're going to go to the Galapagos, people would be like,
Yeah.
see some turtles at the Galapagos? They'd be like, no, you're not.
Yeah,
Please stop.
no.
You
Yeah, I
pay
need-
too much money to say
You're
it
gonna go
wrong.
see
I'm
Mitch
like,
McConnell?
I need some new sunglasses. Let's take that chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. So actually, I mean, the beer itself is fantastic. I mean, is this something you can get at the tap room right now, or like at stores too? or is it-
Bottles at the tasting room. We had it on draft. We kind of did a silent drop for it, which is really cool. We kind of do that.
silent.
Yeah, we do silent drops.
I think
a
that's
lot.
what I think that means
By that,
not
by
posting
that he
anything
means,
about it.
By that he means I didn't post about it, and then it had been like 3 weeks we had it,
Yeah.
and so I just was
And
like,
then
I
it-
should
thanks for
And then
covering,
it sold
thanks for
out,
covering
so.
James S.
Yeah.
silent drop. I mean, it was a silent drop. It was definitely on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
like
yeah, for sure.
Silent
Yeah.
drop sounds like I don't
Yeah.
like social media.
Yeah.
This is exactly
Well,
what silent drop sounds like.
we have bottles in
Yeah.
the tasting room.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was
we
on
were
draft
just-
for a while.
before we
Don't drop those. It won't be silent.
before
But it's
the,
like a gob of honey, though. I mean, it's
Yeah,
I
it
forget what
was,
the amount, but it's like
a gob.
it's a
Oh,
pretty
God.
good.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good amount of honey.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of the alcohol comes from the honey and not
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
beer.
it's, what is it?
8.8, I think.
8.8, yeah.
Yeah.
So 8.8%. So,
Is that right?
So
Oh,
good.
nice.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking a little bit about the show, about how I was running. We had a show last night at Distique in Berkeley neighborhood, and I was running some new material. And a lot of times, like new stuff, it just doesn't go very well, but you're hoping it does. And then
Sure, you
when
gotta
you
try
get
it.
something, when you get something that like clicks, you're just so excited about it, and you're just like can't wait to work on it because now all of a sudden I got like a new project to kind of hit for the next couple weeks, right? Have you guys had any releases, I mean, of note where you were like, this is going to be fucking fire, this is going to go awesome, and it didn't? And then conversely, anything that you were like, I don't know if this is really going to blow
Radio
up,
Flash.
but we wanted to do it.
Oh, what a beautiful color.
Radio Flash? Yeah. What was that?
So I took a similar, a little similar in how we did Extra Dimension, which I think you guys had, or I don't know.
Yeah, he had Extra Dimension.
Yeah. So we basically treated,
Cheers, by the way.
Cheers.
and I will say Extra Dimensional was treated more strongly
Camaraderie.
than Radio Flash.
That nose is fucking awesome.
Essentially, what we did is we took a mixed culture from a spontaneous barrel, and we treated it such to kill off a good percent of the bacteria, and just let it be tart a little bit.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah, and it wasn't on for very long. I don't think you even worked here, but you maybe
I think it was
maybe you
like,
just started.
yeah, I think I was like week 1 was Radio Flash and week 2 was Dead Hand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so.
that's the story.
Although,
It was-
if you just like encapsulated that sentence and you didn't tell anybody that it was about beer, that sounds pretty epic. You know what I
you're
mean?
like, oh my god.
Yeah, right. What does that even mean?
Like the beer names are just like, wow, that sounds. Are they in a metal band? Like, is
saw-
that
Yeah.
I saw them opening for Mastodon, and I was like, you can't top this.
You
And
can't
just
tell.
just
I left
laughed.
10 minutes into Mastodon set because Radio Flash was so.
into Mastodon. Said no one ever.
I was
did.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I saw a Mastodon play one time. They were opening for Primus, and I left and came back, and then I left for Primus. So,
Whoa.
yeah.
You left and came back, and Primus was still
I'm just
playing.
kidding.
And then
No,
you
we
came-
stuck around
oh,
for Mastodon, but then Les Claypool just, I
Yeah.
can only see so much.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
So anyway,
Continue.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No,
my
so anyway,
Just making
so
a
it's
bad
Radio
joke.
Flash. So the idea was to make like a kind of funky, a little bit tart saison, and honestly, this might play better now. Maybe we should be doing it, but At the time, people they wanted sour. They wanted fruit, which they still do. Now they want a gob of fucking lactose in it also.
Yeah.
But it was like a really delicate, beautiful. It was like 4% alcohol, saison.
But
It was
tons
on
of
for
flavor.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But it was really drinkable. Also,
Yeah.
a little tart from the bacteria, but
Which I want from a saison. To be honest.
really
Yeah.
not like you wouldn't call it sour beer probably.
Yeah, that's
you would
great.
just be like it's like quenchingly tart. It was one of my favorite beers we've ever made, and I put it on for like 2 weeks on draft, and and people just I just looked at the Untapped, which I used to do, and I don't anymore. Maybe for this reason.
Well,
It's
we
okay.
have.
Yeah,
Don't worry, we'll relive the glory days.
I'm sure. No, but I looked at it and it was like, it's just, people just don't get it. They don't understand. Look, half the people were like, it's not sour enough or something.
yeah.
Like it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, it's not
And
a
I
bad.
was
It's
like,
not a bad thing. Yeah,
I
they
said
just
I called it tart saison. I was like, it's not supposed to be sour. It's supposed to be tart.
Yeah.
And
But again, like if I'm having a saison, like that's what I want because so many
Yeah.
people that do saisons just use like the standard saison yeast strain, and they're usually not very good at using it, so they all just wind up tasting the same.
they don't
right? It's
ferment
just
it
like
hot. Yeah.
really intense, like the really intense kind of like clove and
if you want that DuPont,
characteristic
it's
flavors.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see people all the time talking about, I want to make this. It's mostly homebrewers or whatever, but they're arguing about how do I make a great saison. They're arguing
Yeah.
about the grain bill,
Yeah.
right? And I want to make like a DuPont clone grain bill. Yeah, well, saison DuPont is 100% Pilsner malt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
all fermentation.
It's all about the
character.
yeast. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
and that's our fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
right?
trick. I mean, because it's
You
one
know,
of the. I mean, you tell me,
um,
is it one of the more? To me, it's one of the more tricky yeast strains to master. In terms of
It
like what
is,
you want to
because
want to
if-
accomplish
If
with
you
it.
go too hot, or if you go too hot with the wrong mash schedule, you can get a bunch of ferulic acid, and it can be really not great. Anyway, I don't want to give away the secrets, but
All right, you keep your
anyway,
secrets.
we don't do that. But, I guess the thing is you got to ferment it hot, and a lot of people were not comfortable with that. Like, I'm gonna let it go to 78. That's real hot.
Yeah.
Well, saison DuPont, the real thing, might hit 90 plus. It's in a slate tank.
I like
it's-
saisons, but this one's
it's-
too spicy.
Right, but if you don't get it hot, then it doesn't get that bubblegummy
So
sweetness, and it's the whole thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
so we did Radio Flash,
Yeah.
and
And then we did that.
and it was different, and I looked at the reviews and I was like, fuck this, these people don't deserve it, and I took it.
Hell yeah. Hell yes.
I literally came in here on like a Saturday, and we had this was like it was a 3.5 barrel batch, so we had like 7 kegs of this thing,
Yeah.
and I was here on
Yeah.
Saturday. I wasn't even planning on working, and I rolled all the kegs off a tap, and I rolled them all to the back, and I rolled all the kegs out of the back cooler, and I put them in a tank, and I fruited the absolute fuck out of it, and I put in some sour beer with it a little bit, and I called it Dead Hand, and people loved it.
It was
Yeah,
one of the
and they're
best,
like, oh, wow,
best
sold
selling
out in
beers
like a week.
ever.
It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
second use fruit too. I think I was like,
Yeah.
I just put it on like a Shadow Factory dregs.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, people
That's
loved
wild.
it,
Yeah.
and it was a fucking shame, honestly, because like if people ask me right now, I'm like, I always say Oxcart. I love that beer. It's a 3-year blend. It's our version of Goose, and I love that beer. But our thing with that is we want to showcase the environment, and to me, it's a blending skill there. But a lot of it is just this is what our yeast create.
Right.
And then we take the best barrels and combine them to make what I think tastes good. But Radio Flash wasn't blended; it was a straight up, not monoculture, but it was not a blended beer. It was a single tank.
And how long ago was this?
Oh,
It's 2017.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't
a
know,
few years
man. Like
ago.
I want
Yeah.
you to bring that shit back, just so
Yeah,
I can.
yeah,
I mean, just so I
yeah.
can have it. But I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
not necessarily.
But
you
I feel like
yeah.
it's the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But now I don't really care as much about Untapped, and
Yeah.
maybe we will someday. But it probably would just be on draft because, unfortunately, people who buy in liquor stores are looking for the same thing. They want something that looks like it is like raspberry puree in a
Right.
can with lactose also, because it needs to be sweet because they
can't-
really want raspberry soda and they don't want to admit it.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't do that.
We talk about that a lot.
But it's the thing. I mean, I was just talking to Melissa about how she can tell some people come in and they want a sour beer, and she can tell when they expect it to be
The most sour
they-
thing that they've ever
well,
had.
we have a lot of ones that are pretty sour.
Sure, yeah,
but they
yeah.
want it to be this what do they call smoothie sour or whatever.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
where
yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
sweet,
It's
and then you're
also
like, it's
really
kind of
sweet.
tart. Isn't that cute? Isn't
Yeah,
that kind of nice?
It may be really tart, but you can't tell. It doesn't taste tart.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
The
it's so
pH may be
sugary
low,
sweet.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Coca-Cola is much lower pH than any of our beers.
Yeah.
But it's also like if you were to show the sugar in the can, right? Like the old dental thing. Right?
Yeah, it's like
it's
this
like
much sugar,
2/3
yeah.
of the can is just
Right.
cane sugar or
Yeah.
corn syrup in
Well,
this case. But-
interesting how, I mean, similarly, all right, so you're working on a joke that you really love, let's say.
Right, right.
And then it bombs.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? I thought this was going to work
Right,
so
right.
well. And then you tell a punchline that's a part of the whole bit that you wrote that you were like, I'm just going to write this down, but it's not very good. And that's the thing
That's the
that
one
gets
you're
the
like,
biggest laugh, and it's the part of the whole bit that
and now
you're
you've
the
got to
least
go
proud of, and you're
build
like,
it all around that.
fuck.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you
You
know,
people
it's
don't
one of those
deserve
things.
this, and then you fucking can it up and put it in the
Yeah.
back for a little
Yeah, I mean, and we, you know, we haven't done that kind of beer. I mean, the temptation is always there to try that kind of thing, and I don't think that those beers are bad, but they're not what we've done.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I wouldn't feel like I've sold out to do it. I don't think that it's bad to do that kind of beer. If people like soda, they like soda.
Well, that's been my
but-
sticking point whenever we do talk about it, because at a certain point I'm like, well, is this so you just don't really like beer, right? And I hate that it's.
I mean, it seems that way a little bit, but also I could look at somebody who drinks some of our beers and be like, "Well, you really like beer?" You know, if I'm a brewer who's been, I work at,
Epic.
Budvar. no, like
That was so hard to improvise.
I work at Budvar in Pilsen.
Definitely
Right?
went a different direction than what I
no, right? And I drink one of our beers like a
like
Gemini
this.
or this beer, right? I'm gonna go. Well, these people don't really like beer. Well, I mean that's fair because it's very much different than a traditional pilsner.
Right. No, you're right. But I guess
You know,
part of it to me is that there's so much care that goes into making something like this, and it's a delicate process, and it takes time. I don't know what about that for me makes it feel more special, as opposed to just making something that it's mostly, I don't know. It just seems, I don't know if the simplicity of it makes it less appealing to me.
Making
At least
making Czech Pilsners probably equally as difficult as
it's
making.
pretty hard. Yeah, it's
making-
pretty
No,
difficult.
yeah, that's what I mean about
Pilsner.
I mean, I was talking about like smoothie sours.
No,
and
tell
pilsner
me what
sours
you
and stuff.
really feel.
Yeah.
I mean, and listen, I've never done it, and I understand that there's problems with that. Like your customers are going to have cans explode potentially, and I don't mean that as like a shot, but like it's a real consideration when you have beer that's not fully fermented.
Or,
and
I
and how
mean,
do you deal
yeah,
with that,
yeah,
right? And I'm not willing to put out a beer intentionally that I know may explode.
Has
and
that
we've,
potential, yeah.
you know, we've had beers that are
Just throw some
in
berries
bottles
in
that are
right
that are
before
that
you
are
can.
highly carved, and if they weren't really cold, you know, it maybe bubbled out a little bit, and I would
or
prefer
even
not
voided.
that.
Like we've had instances.
Well,
The
they need to be
hardest-
real cold. We tended to recall that. We've only done that one time where it was like cold. It
Yeah.
would gush out.
The hardest
Yeah.
thing is like having a stance on beers that will explode because they are like carelessly packaged,
Right.
versus like beers that will explode because it's a live culture. Like
Sure.
to a very reasonable degree,
But that's not even what people are doing. It's not careless or live culture. It's well, I mean, they're all live culture, but
Yeah.
it's
Well,
it's not. It's intentionally. I don't think that I can
Yeah.
release a beer where I have to say, listen, if you don't keep this cold, it's gonna fucking explode.
yeah.
I
No,
don't think I
that's
could do that.
that's the point I'm saying.
Right?
Is
I'm
like,
not sure which
it's
one you're
like
talking.
the-
Which one is that you're saying?
Is that so? What I'm saying is that there's like a thin line between like what we do with like live culture, like we like use math and science to make sure that like beer is like terminal when it's packaged, that it's not going to like re-ferment. We have had like extreme success with that over the last couple years. You know, early on when it was like really there wasn't a lot behind it. You know, we didn't really like know exactly. Like there were a lot of beers that I've packaged here that I've been like, we have to keep this more cold. That like it could still sit at 70 degrees and not explode, right? But like if you leave a can of like certain breweries beer out on your kitchen
It's
counter
gonna actually explode.
while you like run
Yeah,
and
I've-
go
we've-
grab your
we've-
fucking groceries out of
Yeah,
your car, you're
incredibly
gone for
short
30
period of
seconds
time.
and
We've
they
never
blow up.
made a beer.
Yeah,
Even when we've had something end up over carbed.
yeah.
And to be fair, so we used to package our bottles. We used to aim for like 3.6 volumes, which is pretty high.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
We do
most,
2.8 now for
yeah,
like reference.
Most
so, like, that's
most
like 2.8.
most cans are 2.5, and I would argue that I would love somebody to show me a can that's over 3.0 because it's very difficult to do that.
Right.
If you're not can conditioning, and most people don't do that. So we were close to 4. Well, if it's close to 4 and it's not very, very cold and you're not ready to pour, you can have a situation.
Yeah,
And
sure.
so we had people bring it to a bottle share, right? Well, they took it out of their fridge and they went and got some drinks and it's been in their car and now it's
sits on a
right.
bar.
Or what's funny is we'd have people who they got it from us at room temperature and we said refrigerate for 24 hours, and 3 hours later they go, I opened this and it gushed. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, it said refrigerate for 24 hours. You only had it for 3 hours maximum.
Yeah. What
If
if
you
you
were the
fuck up
first
in the
person
course
in
of
line.
3 hours?
Yeah.
God damn
So,
it.
so I don't know what to tell you, but
Yeah.
we use heavy glass because we do a high carbonation in the bottles.
There-
Yeah.
Well,
Is-
glass is a really good insulator.
There are
right?
a few
So-
things less thrilling, though. I know you guys don't do the cork and cage thing on this stuff.
We used to, yeah.
But man, popping a cork out of a bottle that's over like super carbed and
Yeah.
watching
Yeah,
that thing
yeah.
skyrocket
Oh,
across
yeah.
the fucking
Oh,
yeah.
field.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
That
Oh,
feels
I love,
good.
I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm drinking cheap champagne that's room temperature,
I love cheap-
love opening at room temperature
Yeah.
and shooting
I
that
love
cork off.
sheep. I love sheep champagne. It's the best.
Sheep
Yeah.
champagne.
Yeah, sheep champagne. That's what I like. But
I believe it's pronounced shop.
yeah, it's actually shop.
Shep.
No, I love that. But you got to be ready to pour it, and if you are, you can do it without losing a drop.
Yeah.
You just got to have the glass right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I mean, we have people. Oh, I brought this bottle to my family's Thanksgiving, and I opened it on my grandma's. Literally, like my
Yeah.
grandma's 100-year-old knit tablecloth. I'm like, what the
Like,
fuck are you doing?
Well, did you
bro?
suck it off or what?
are you
I mean,
doing?
like,
You know,
you're not gonna
like, what
waste
are you
it.
doing?
We'll save
Why
that for
would
the
you-
OnlyFans.
I wouldn't open a red wine on my grandma's 100-year-old tablecloth. What are you fucking doing,
yeah.
dude? What are you doing? Open it in the kitchen anyway.
This is a
and then
you. This is a
pour
you
it.
problem.
Yeah,
This
what are
is-
you
yeah,
doing?
yeah.
You know, I'm like,
Listen,
well,
we're not to be held accountable.
right.
For
you
your
know?
stupidity, sir.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest, a properly carved beer, especially if you're talking over 3 volumes, if you open it warm, it's gonna come out the top.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
even like talk Budweiser and Banquet.
Yeah, I
100%,
go camping, and I'll drink a room temperature Coors Banquet, but when you open a Coors Banquet at 75 degrees,
Yeah.
it goes all over the fucking
Yeah.
top,
Yeah.
of the can, right? And you just gotta be ready to drink it.
Yeah.
And you don't open it on your grandma's 100-year-old placemat thing. I don't know.
I
Like,
used
what
my
are you doing?
grandma's coffin to
I
pop the
appreciate
bottle
it.
lid off.
I was gonna say on her casket maybe, but not because at least that's maple. You know, it's not.
This bottle lid put a dent in my grandma's coffin.
Is that what they make? I don't even know.
Like, what the fuck?
What?
So this beer that we have been sipping on and that you're finished with,
Yeah.
it's super good. I don't know if, I mean,
Yeah.
so I mean, you put it on the table. I want to talk about it. I know
Yeah,
the
so
conversation
it's,
gets carried
it's
away,
called
and we're
Firebar.
grateful for that.
So it actually, this beer, I literally made up because I had one of our membership program guys who's also
right.
a bar regular. He's a fantastic guy. His name is
Brian
Brian.
Gantz.
Shout
Way
out
to
to
go,
Brian Gantz. He's the
Brian.
host.
Shout out. He might listen.
Yeah, he might. Yeah.
Dorothy Gantz.
If he
Yeah.
doesn't-
in the tap room.
Well,
Brian, if you're
we
not,
don't call him that.
If you're not listening to this, Brian, fuck you. But
like
if you
that.
are, Brian,
Yeah,
we love you.
so-
Thank you
so
so much.
Brian-
Can Gantz. Is that better?
Yeah. So Brian messages me out of nowhere one day, and he's like, "Hey, man, I've got."
This is 2020. It's like the year of the COVID.
Yeah.
garden,
He's
right?
like, I've got an
Yeah.
amount.
I think that was the year of the
of
dragon,
mint."
actually, but yeah.
It doesn't sound.
Well,
It says
they
a few pounds
retconned
of
it
mint.
later.
And he's like, I have an amount of mint. Like, do you want to make a beer with it? And I was like,
He had like a
fuck
goblin.
yeah.
We have people
so-
with messages all the time. They're like, I got
Yeah.
8 pounds of raspberries. Can you make a beer with them? I'm like, please go away. Like, I mean, it takes so much. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, I'm thankful
like-
for
that's
it.
like-
but
Somebody
I'm
walks
like,
in
it's
from
not
off
really,
the street with
Yeah.
prepackaged King Super raspberries.
Right,
They're just
yeah.
like, hey man, I got
You
these
Yeah,
raspberries.
it's like I can
Make me a
hey,
beer.
man, they're like all
But you
drippy.
think about it, most people, to get four or 5 pounds of raspberries out of your home garden is like kind of a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to get, it's like, I'm
Yeah.
like, but that's not really enough.
Yeah.
Like if we were doing 5 gallons, and like it would be like a very light fruiting. But
Yeah.
like we don't do 5 gallons.
Oh, you don't want us to
Yeah.
do little floaters when you
Yeah,
serve
yeah.
somebody at the bar? You're
That
like,
would
"Oh,
be
here
what it
you
would
go."
be best for,
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate it, but it just doesn't.
Yeah.
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 So we took
But
second
he had like
use,
a lot of mint. Is my point.
eight or 10 pounds. It
Yeah,
was like,
which is a lot. It's
Which is
more
an official
effective
gob.
than-
yeah.
10 to 12 pounds.
It's a
It's a
gob.
gob.
Yeah,
It's more.
officially
yeah,
a
yeah.
gob.
I think a gob
Yeah.
in
I believe
metric
it's
gob
pronounced
is 9.
Joe.
Yeah, 9.3.
Yeah, it's
9.3.
9 point some- yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, so I took what I had.
Something. Yeah.
I had some fruit pulp hanging out, some like second use pulp that I was like, kind of kicking around. I didn't know what to do with it, and I was like,
Sounds
oh,
like the
fuck.
name of a terrible punk band. Second Used Pulp.
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah.
do a lot of beers that
I'm
way.
actually playing my first live show as Second Use Pulp.
Please
next
do,
week,
yeah.
So, yeah.
I have a
He's
feeling-
opening for
For Chon,
Black Flag
so-
or
I'm
No
not
one's
gonna watch
stay.
Black
No
Flag.
one's
I'll tell you I'll leave before their set.
Yeah.
Second
everybody
Pulp's
will
gonna
leave.
kill it.
Yeah. So we took. I'm gonna kind of read it. Oh, it's just a 1-year-old spontaneous barrel. I think that we
This
just
is
pulled
single
a
barrel.
Yeah, and some sour golden. It looks like we probably just topped that up. So a single barrel, probably topped up sour golden for like
This
headspace.
is like a 50-gallon batch, though, right?
Yeah,
60,
yeah,
60.
it's a
one
fairly,
single barrel.
Yeah, it was a
size.
fairly small batch. Yeah, 100 liters actually, so not even a whole barrel. It's 26 gallons. Yeah.
It might have been a partial barrel from a blend.
I
or
think that's
something.
exactly what it
So a
was,
lot of
yeah.
times when we might make a blend for like Oxcart, it's a 3-year blend, and we might say, listen, it's gonna be half of this barrel, and then sometimes we'll take that barrel and throw it in with other beer just to
Yeah.
kind of mellow, or we might be like, hey, this one by itself is pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's put in something like that. That's just what happened
Yeah.
with it. So
Yeah, so it's a second use fruit from Roswell, which is our super fruited series, black currant, and then metric gob of mint. Yeah, we just fermented that out, bottled it.
I believe a
kegged it.
metric gob is 2,000 pounds.
No, we talked. It's
No, no,
9.3.
no,
yeah.
no,
Yeah,
no.
we were. Yeah.
No, it's
sorry.
actually a
Oh,
guar.
9
It's
point
actually a
something.
guar cover band that's a fraction of the size.
Cans exploding on audience members.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. But
It's a guar cover band that's all
so
midgets.
It's, we bottled this in July of 2020, and I mean, like almost a whole year later, it's fucking fantastic.
Fucking delicious.
we sold
it's
it.
really
I
good.
think we
I
started
mean-
selling in March or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Is black currant to me, it's something you don't see as often, especially as like the main fruit in a beer, right? But I get some cranberry notes to it, but a little
Yeah, yeah.
a touch sweeter, right? Is that kind of like what you're
Yeah.
usually trying to get out of that?
Yeah,
I feel like sweeter, but I also get like a little bit of like skinny. It's
yeah.
skinny.
So I was gonna say seedy.
Yeah, that's what I was
so
saying
maybe
too. I got like
seedy maybe. It's a little bit tannic. It's got a little tannin to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
on the nose
Yeah.
you get a ton
It
of
moves
skin
towards
more than
grapes.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it is a lot like cranberry.
Yeah.
But it's got a little bramble like berry. in
it's
it.
like if a
Just general
grape and a
berries.
cranberry just fucked.
Yeah.
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 Hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But like not like a Concord grape, like a
No,
like
yeah,
like a
wine
Pinot
grape,
Noir or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so the mint. Am I getting most of it on the nose? Is it?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty subtle.
It's,
I
smells
smell
good
it.
on the.
Because that's what once I saw that there was a mint in it, I'm like, am I getting like is the nose more coming from like a skin kind of an aroma, or is that the mint? So I was just kind of
Yeah.
curious.
It was,
There's
didn't
definitely,
I
like-
forget to say about mint when I posted about it at
Yeah.
one point?
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, I got mint in it, and I
Yeah.
was like, good job.
Yeah, man, you cracked me.
Because it's there, and I
Yeah.
forgot to
Yeah.
say it. But yeah,
Here's a T-shirt. Just
yeah.
guess the flavors.
Hey, if
You're
I had a
good.
T-shirt that just said "Good job" on it, oh man.
Man, you want a
Great.
T-shirt? Says that?
Do it. Do it backwards. So every time you look in the mirror.
Hey, man, yeah. Just anything to feel loved.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you guys? It seems like I know you do like a lot of really amazing sour beers, and actually, I don't know why we're. Yeah. I don't know why I was just thinking about this, but
neither.
a lot of what you guys do reminds me a bit of. Are you guys fans of Oxbow, like out in Maine?
Yeah.
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 Actually,
Yeah.
no,
Because
totally.
it's a lot of it's got a lot of ton of farmhouse qualities to it, and even if stuff isn't straight sour beer or method traditional or whatever,
Yeah.
they mix a bit with pale ales.
Yeah.
They don't do a ton of them and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
Similar vibe, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have had a lot of their stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Yeah, we've done quite a few like festivals and stuff out there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good people.
What is it called? Main Shack up on Central.
Yeah, Central. Yeah.
Yeah. You can get.
Wait, what is this?
Main Shack?
I haven't heard of
it.
It's a lobster
It's a
roll
lobster
spot,
roll spot.
dude.
No shit.
Yeah.
Is it good?
wow.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so good, and they have
Oh, wow.
Oxbow
Main
beers.
Shack.
but-
No, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen Oxbow here before, but
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess I didn't even think that the
They
distributor.
had
out
a,
here.
they had a farmhouse, a dry hop farmhouse, like Saison, I guess, whatever.
Sure.
From Oxbow, and I went and I had like a fucking brown butter lobster roll with like Saison. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
just-
so
That's
here's a
powerful.
weird thing about Oxbow.
Yeah.
I spent 7th grade through high school in New Jersey, and I went to middle school. I sat next to this guy named Michael Haskip, who's he might still be an agent, but he was an agent before. He's a
Yeah.
big beer guy.
Okay.
And I guess his older brother or something was friends with this guy. And then later I was in marching band in high school, and I heard the name because I think he was a senior when I was a freshman. Michael Fava, Fava. He's like the head brewer at Oxbow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like I never knew him, but we went to the same high school. We were both in marching band.
Weird.
Yeah, kind of weird. It was like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I grew up in New Jersey. He's like, me too. And I was like, he's like, where? I was like, Wayne. He's like, no shit. And I was
Yeah,
like,
those two things kind of
man,
came
this is
together,
really
and actually, and you
cool.
guys took like.
And then we knew a lot of
right?
people
Yeah.
in common, right? Because I knew people a couple years older than me. You know, when you're a freshman,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't really know seniors.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't.
Were you,
I was hazed like crazy. So.
Were you like were you
Tied to a
big
tree
like
and
metal
all
or
that.
hardcore head when you were in high school? Or did
Yeah,
that-
I liked a type of music called Neue Deutsche Hart, which is like Rammstein.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like German metal.
Because I feel
industrial.
like the Jersey hardcore and metal scene.
Oh,
was
that
like-
wasn't popular there. No.
No,
Yeah,
I just
well,
Long
we like-
Island.
No, well,
Long
well,
Island.
well,
Long
no,
Island's
for
more
sure.
popular than it is now.
So
But,
but
say,
like upstate,
yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
where I grew up in New York, like hardcore was huge.
Yeah,
And I guess I
yeah.
thought that there was like that bit of like
Yeah.
that still in
I
Jersey
could've gotten
too.
into
Do you
yeah.
do you know where Safer grew up in Jersey?
Not near me. Yeah, Bergen County. It was different.
Okay, yeah. So
It's like
we
somebody
had,
who grew up in like Riverside versus somebody who grew up in like Beverly Hills.
I got you. Okay.
It's like that kind of thing.
Word.
Okay.
Well, we had a sales guy that grew up
Yeah.
in
Bergen County.
Bergen County, and he was super into like hardcore, kind of metalcore, pop punk shit, and he knew
Yeah.
like the dudes from like Senses Fail and like Armor for Sleep and all that. So
yeah.
yeah.
So,
So,
I
yeah.
didn't know.
But you were, but that wasn't really your
Everybody in my
world.
high
It was
school
literally.
no, I was in German shit. I was real into cars. I had a
Okay.
Volkswagen. I wanted a Porsche. I had an old Volkswagen. I was like I'm still kind of.
So you're just like all about German stuff.
yeah, but not
Yeah, yeah.
Nazis. But
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Nazis.
not
Not
the
Nazis.
Let us clarify. Yeah.
Not that, but I mean, I liked like Kraftwerk and like this band called Wumpscut and like.
I'm just imagining you all-
Rammstein.
Yeah.
Rammstein's one of my favorite bands ever.
Did you like their new album?
I like all of it. Yeah,
They just
yeah.
put out a new one
The-
like
the-
last year.
Yeah, I liked it with. Yeah, I like it.
Speaking of small world shit, after the last episode, found out that I went to high school with Alex's sister.
Oh, there you go.
Right?
I feel like we talked
Yeah,
about that
not
on
on,
the
not
air.
on the air. No,
Not
it
on
was
air.
after.
We
It
talked
was
about it.
after.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
There you
small
go.
world
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Granted, we're only 8 miles away from where I grew up.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's not
yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
It's odd like that though.
You were younger than her.
Same age.
Same a-
Same age.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You look really good for your age, man.
Thanks. Yeah.
It's
Boy.
but there's so many small world things in the Burger King.
Yeah,
So it's like the
for
Michael
sure.
the Michael Fava thing happened, right?
Yeah.
But before that, right? I'm my dad messages me. My dad doesn't like sour beer. He didn't like craft beer for like a long time. Now he's like real into pilsners. He sends me every pilsner he drinks.
He gets he's hyped about it.
He hosts a
Hell
beer.
yeah.
He hosts a beer club in his over 50 community.
Oh really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
they
isn't
drink
it?
Pilsners?
Isn't it kind of fun to see
It's-
somebody right at the beginning of their craft beer
It's
journey
in-
a little bit?
I
and
don't
there's-
know that he's going to
There's so
advance
much
for
hope
these
and
guys.
whimsy in their eyes. And
No,
you're like,
no,
I've been in
yeah.
this too long to have that excited look on my face about any new pilsner that I find. You know,
I'm
like-
excited about because they're just, I don't know, they find some pretty oddball European pilsners
Yeah.
somehow where they live in Nevada. But yeah, he hosts his beer club, and I don't know that people give a shit or know that I like own a kind of respected brewery. But they don't drink my kind of beer.
Right.
He's never been like, hey, yo, send me some Black Patrick.
They'll
It's
get
never
there.
happened. It's
Maybe
never
in like
happened.
6 years.
Maybe,
but they'll
yeah,
get there,
I don't know. It's right. It's probably when he's like, you should probably not drink, Dad. You're kind of old.
He's
Um,
he's like, I know you. You
do
live kind
something,
of near
right?
Bearstadt, and he's like, I know Brandon at Wild Provisions is doing some cool lagers. So
Legit.
Wouldn't
I
that
would
be a
I
fun
would be
text?
like-
Wouldn't
I
that be a
would
fun
say
text? He's
I
just
would
like,
say
hey, James, can you send me some beer? I'm like, Dad, I've been waiting for this day for forever. Like,
It'd be
great,
like
I want
from
some beer
Wild
stuff.
Provisions. I'd be like, I'd be like, well, I've been meaning to go over and get some for myself because that's what I drink too. So, yeah. No,
Dude, that
so
premium pale lager is like one of the best
Dude.
beers.
yeah,
out
no,
there right
I
now.
mean,
That shit is
I
so
get
fucking
the
good.
lager thing. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I like it. The short answer to the story is my dad a long time ago when we lived in New Jersey worked with this guy. I think his name was Rod Marchio, and this was when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, and we went to like a corporate summer picnic and all this shit. Right?
Oh yeah,
And,
for work.
somebody else who was probably at the same corporate summer picnic was Chris Marchio, who later started Knotted Root Brewing Company.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty wild.
So like years ago, I was at this some kind of, it was like, I forget what it was, some kind of festival, and he came up to me and he was like, hey, I think your dad knows my dad. I was like, wild. I don't know. And I remember. I mean, they were cllose enough that I remember hearing the name Rod Marcio.
Then you were
Yeah.
like,
It's
my
either
dad
Rod or
can
Ron,
beat
I don't
up
know.
your dad, okay?
Probably not, to be honest. I don't know. I've never met his dad.
It'd
but
be a
anyway.
tussle.
It probably would be pretty wild to watch.
He would have a whole crew.
No. It'd be like, the boomer boom. I don't know. I don't know what would happen, but it was wild. I think at the time he worked at Fiction or something, but it was kind of like cool. I was like, that's wild. Like,
Yeah,
I know
it is
that
kind of a
name.
fun
Like
connection,
this
yeah.
was a very much a past life.
Yeah.
And then it was the same thing with Michael Fava, like very much a past life that we sort of crossed paths. I don't know. It's odd that out of 4,000 breweries or whatever in the U.S., like there's a few people where I'm like, I know you.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Speaking of so my dad, when I was working for Harpoon, had like our hometown as part of my sales area.
You worked for Harpoon?
Yeah.
Dude.
Small world.
Dude, yeah, well, no, honest to God, though, Harpoon helped me get into craft beer.
Yeah, same. It
'Cause,
was the first IPA I ever liked.
Dude, there was a Bonnaroo Music Festival.
Yes.
Did like Bonnaroo, and it was
Yes.
a beer festival in the music festival.
And I might have been the one working the table.
That would, yeah,
There
it
you go.
was
His
highly-
2013.
Highly likely I was the
Another
one
one.
working the
Yeah,
table.
yeah,
There it is.
dude,
Yeah.
yeah.
But he was
And, yeah,
rolling
like, I,
too
like,
hard.
had-
Pretty fucking hard.
Yeah.
I saw
Both of
pretty,
you were
I-
probably.
I,
I don't
took,
know.
I took a gram of Molly and stayed up all
Yes.
night for Pretty
Yeah,
Lights.
you're just
And
like,
it was-
there you go.
On the track.
Harpoon, Harpoon was the only beer sticker I had on my fucking water bottle for like 3 years. Cause
That's
I was like,
the most
yeah.
Colorado statement you could make. Like,
Yeah, I
other
know,
people are
yeah.
like, "What are you
Well,
talking
it
about?
Was,
Your-
it was
your
an analogy
sticker on
too.
your
Yeah,
water
it was a
bottle. What
peanut
are you
and
talking
especially a
about?
Boston brewery. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like the weirdest thing too, right? And like Bonna Brews or whatever it was called, like had like a lot of good breweries
Yeah.
and shit, but like Harpoon just like wild.
Yeah, there was something. I mean, that was super fun. And like I said, I'm pretty sure, unless it was the time that I was passed out behind the tent because it was the next day
So you
after
didn't
I
see
stayed
him.
up all night.
Yeah.
No, highly likely you did.
You did. He
Highly
was- he
likely. I mean,
rallied. He was
because
there.
it's you're
That's
there for a few days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a 4-day festival.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a 4-day.
And I told my coworkers, like, listen, I'm down to work extra shifts for most of like the weekend if I can have that night off.
But I
because
needed one full night.
Because it wasn't, I forget who else was on that night, but I wanted to see Pretty Lights, and then there was a couple other bands before them that I was like, I just want this block of time.
Yeah,
You know, and,
like a long block that you would have probably normally not.
yeah,
had off,
and then I was like, and I'm gonna be up for a while,
Right,
so I need
right.
like tomorrow morning
Yeah.
as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like this 15-hour period, I'll work all the extra stuff. I don't give a fuck, right? And that was one of the most fun times I've ever had
Fuck
in
yeah.
my goddamn life. Just high as hell,
Yeah.
dancing around,
Yeah.
in my underwear.
Yeah.
Good fucking
Wow.
time.
Hell
It was
yeah.
wild.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he
dude,
literally
Bonner
played until
was-
he literally played until the sun came up.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
how long the set was because
Yeah.
time didn't
Didn't
matter.
Yeah,
At that
yeah, yeah. Was that the year that Skrillex did a 6 a.m. set?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at,
yeah.
at like that tent, I think it was.
I just went to the bathroom. Skrillex did a 6 a.m. set. Was,
Yeah.
Skrillex.
Yeah, for everybody that
Skrillex.
stayed up from the night before and hadn't
Yeah,
gone to
yeah.
bed yet.
was it
Yeah.
him just screaming Emily into a mic?
Dude.
Solid from first to last reference? Hell yeah. Cool.
No, but that was dope. I was the one that convinced Harpoon to go to that because they didn't want to. They just didn't think it was like a great idea.
Yeah.
But I had gone the year before just on my own. Right?
We poured one time at the.
This is super fucking.
What's
good.
the one in
That's
the What's the
coffee
one
sour.
in the Palm Desert? You know, the big one.
Oh, Burning Man.
Burning Man.
No,
Right?
no. The one in
Heat.
Palm Springs.
Oh, I thought you said Palm. I thought
Oh,
you meant the
Coachella.
when I heard desert, I just
Palm,
meant
yeah, no,
Coachella.
Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Palm. Yeah,
Whenever I hear
in
desert, I just
California.
assume
Oh yeah,
it's
we played
Burning
it.
Man.
Or we poured at Coachella.
Coachella. Coachella.
The 2017,
2018, I think.
2018. Yeah.
I think it was 2018.
Nobody went out for that, huh?
I don't know.
Nice.
Was that the
beer
Tupac
distribution.
hologram?
Gotcha.
Nobody who works for us now went to it. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, but
Somebody
that's
might
dope,
have.
man.
I'm
Like-
not even sure. I'm not even sure. But
Like I
yeah.
said, if you had Harpoon beer there, there's a high likelihood that we would have crossed paths, which
Yeah,
is pretty
there you
fucking
go.
wild.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's-
weird. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
So when I was working for Harpoon, my parents don't drink, but my dad thinks that the fact that I worked for a brewery was so cool because he would wear I'd get him gear, like a vest or
Yeah,
something like that, and he'd
yeah.
wear it to work, and all of his friends would be like,
Aw.
"Oh man, that's awesome!"
it's
And
a
he'd
brewery, cool
he'd walk
brewery
around
shirt.
and be like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool. Son
Pretty
works
cool
for a
brewery
brewery."
shirt. I don't drink it, but pretty cool.
Cool, huh?
Yeah,
So-
my dad wears Black Project gear. It's interesting.
very
Yeah,
nice.
it's like
Yeah.
golfing and stuff.
And a lot
in,
of
like
times,
a Black Project hoodie. He doesn't.
I mean,
doesn't- he
between
doesn't.
Harpoon and Sierra, I mean, a lot of that stuff was way nicer than anything I could buy. You know, they just
Right,
slapped
right.
their logo on like a Patagonia.
Yeah,
thing,
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah, nice, nice.
But my dad was so cool about it that he would go to Wegmans, which is like the big grocery store out there, the chain anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
And he would text me like while I was there because I'd be back home in Saratoga, and he'd be like, "Not enough stacks up for Harpoon. You should get on TJ Sheehan's case about it."
Damn.
Whoa, TJ Sheehan.
Yeah.
Fucking up.
Okay.
And I'm like, thanks, Dad. And I would literally
Right,
send the
called
text.
out,
I would forward the text to
That's
to our
hilarious.
brand manager just because he got a kick out of it too.
Yeah,
He's like,
he's
"Oh, your
like,
dad's fucking
alright,
wa-
fine.
All right, I got to go check out the John Glenn location."
Fair enough,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
It's like not enough stacks for you guys out there.
That's
I always
funny.
love that. Yeah,
That's
man.
funny.
That was super cool. One of my actually, I'd be curious to know your guys' story, if you will, or at least a memory that comes to mind. One of my coolest beer moments I've ever had was I grew up in Syracuse, New York, and the only real thing that anybody knows about that town is the college, right? Basketball team that
Yeah.
does okay sometimes. And then
Didn't Skip play for Syracuse?
No,
Was that where?
I think he went to SUNY.
SUNY? Okay. I don't
well,
know.
yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
it's
So
not a
SUNY's
Sun-
like the system, and then
Yeah.
there's like SUNY Oswego, SUNY Catskill, SUNY.
Name some others. Is there like a SUNY Albany? Or?
Yeah.
It might have
Oh,
been
okay.
that. It might have been
Okay.
that. Yeah. It wasn't like
Okay.
the main SUNY. I don't,
Okay.
it might have been SUNY Syracuse, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I
like
don't know.
it was like
It
a
would've been like
D2 it was
SUNY
a
ESF, and you
D2
might've
one.
got-
I don't know if there was like a main one and the second ones, or if
Yeah.
they're all D2. I don't
Yeah.
know.
No. Yeah, it's all different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the Carrier Dome's like a big deal, right? It's basically the size of a pro arena,
Right.
and that's where everybody
In Syracuse.
goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've been going there since we were little kids, right? And so I started when I was working for Harpoon, and they have a beer called UFO White, right? I don't know if you knew.
Okay.
What's that? You know that one?
You acted like you're going to challenge it
okay,
there for a
it's
second.
okay.
You're like, never mind.
It's like space theme.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
We
I
do
know,
a lot of
it's-
UFO shit, but
Yeah.
it's fine. That was obviously before we started.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It's their like line of wheat beers. It stands for unfiltered offering, but they did
Okay.
make it kind of
Cute,
like
cute, cute.
spacey,
That's cute.
creamy, whatever. Yeah, no, it's adorable. Yeah. So the tap handle had a big like orange on top of it, and it was blue.
Not a
and
UFO. It didn't have a UFO.
Did
on it.
not have a UFO.
I feel like
They
they
didn't
kinda missed
dive
the mark on that.
super hard into the space theme,
Yes,
just enough, I
yes.
suppose.
Okay.
So I had a meeting.
To be fair, an orange can be a UFO also. If you
I mean,
don't
if you
know
saw a
that
big ass orange flying
but
through
if
the
you
air.
can't identify it as an orange, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's
You
just
mean
an
the
orange.
sun?
Or if it's just a big ass orange.
Yeah.
If it's a big enough orange, someone could be in it.
Listen,
You're not
bro.
going to call it an orange. You're
Listen,
like,
bro.
what the fuck was
If you,
that?
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
squeeze
You're not
the
gonna
sun, you're
assume.
gonna get some juice.
Yeah.
out of
You're
it.
like, I don't know what it was, but it looked kind of like an orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a UFO still.
It's UFO.
Yeah. Okay.
And an
All
orange.
right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm about it then. Okay. We'll give them that. We'll give them that.
So I had a sales meeting with a buyer for the Carrier Dome, and they bought it, right? So they brought it in,
Nice,
and so I was super stoked about it. I went to a game with my dad, like not that long after that, and I was like, hey, they have my beer on tap, like down here. He's like, oh, okay, whatever. So then he walked up. He's like, wait, you mean like the beer that you sell, the vest that I have? He's like, you have that here?
my vest.
And I was like, yeah. He's like, that's so cool. And he bought me my first beer ever.
He
'Cause
bought it
doesn't
for
drink.
you?
Yeah, he bought it for me. He didn't have it.
Because he doesn't drink. So
'Cause
he's
he doesn't
like,
drink, so
okay,
he,
you
like,
can
bought-
have one. You're like, thanks.
So my
Cool.
father bought me a beer.
Never had this.
For the one
Nice.
time in his entire life, and I was
Yeah.
just like,
Aw.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hell
it just
yeah.
felt like so
That's cool,
nice,
man.
you know?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have any like beer moments that either A, just kind of like pulled at your heartstrings a little bit, or you're just the experience you might have had that got you into craft beer, if you can recall.
I was 17.
Illegal. I'm a cop, by the way. You're under
It was at
arrest.
Coors Field.
Not in-
And,
no,
oh,
not that.
Not in the deep, not in the
Wasn't that-
deep north of Canada. It's not.
No, really though. It was my brother's graduation. That was in a
He's
little.
older than you?
Yeah, a year and a half.
Oh, I thought he was younger than you.
No, he just got held
That
back a
actually
bunch.
makes a lot of sense that you would think that.
I've only seen him a few times.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay. Continue your story. I'm sorry. That doesn't really matter at all.
Yeah, it was his graduation. I was in a shitty pop punk band, and we were playing his graduation.
Emphasis on shitty.
Yeah.
You played his
so shitty.
school graduation, like the whole school?
No, his grad party.
Oh, like at his
Yeah.
house.
Yeah. Well, at my house, but yeah.
Right, his house.
Yeah. Fair,
Here
yeah.
to do the national anthem,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was like, damn, you play that.
the pop punk
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had like older friends and shit, and one of his friends was like that I just like connected with. I can't remember the dude's name, but he was like always the homie. He was like, "Hey man, like, come try this like beer. And I was like, okay, like I had been drunk before, whatever. I was a little shithead in high school. Not much has changed. But he like it was
Just that you're of age now.
Beat me
yeah,
to it.
yeah.
You cut me off on
I
that one.
literally saw you
Stole
like
it. I was like,
yeah.
you said, I was like, I never.
It's the key to a good podcast. Just say it.
It was Boulder Beer Company's Hazed and Infused.
Oh yeah.
Super solid pale. Just like really fucking good. Dank, juicy, way ahead of its time.
Right.
Gave it to me and was like, yeah, like try this. And he like explained it to me. He was like, it's like bitter and sweet and like whatever. And like, I just like, I don't know, I tasted it. I was like, holy shit. Like, because like before it was like, oh, like Keystone Ice and like fucking Captain Morgan.
It served a
shots,
different
like-
purpose. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it serves
it
a
was just
different
different.
purpose.
So
And it was
something
like,
where you're like, you drink this to see what it tastes like.
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
always, yeah.
That's
I
stuck
drank
with you, yeah.
I
That's
drank
awesome.
Fat Tire like that. That was
Yeah?
my friend Joel
Yeah.
Vaughn. He's been in here.
And this is when you were in Jersey?
No, this was no. I didn't drink in high school.
Okay.
Nerd.
No, I didn't. I smoked a lot of weed. But that was it.
Just listening to Duhas.
Yeah, no, totally.
hey, James, you want some of this beer? No, thanks. Peels out in his
never-
Volkswagen.
Yeah, exactly. Like I gotta golf. It was. There's no peeling out. It was just
Yeah, yeah.
sort of a quick leave. Wasn't there? Yeah. I don't know what I was gonna say.
You were talking about Fat Tire.
Yeah, so I had Fat Tire in my freshman year in somebody's garage. They were a senior.
Yeah.
Their roommate.
Where'd you go to
from New
college?
Belgium, CSU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I came out here. That's why I came to Colorado.
Oh, okay.
That's
For
why-
Fat Tire.
Yeah.
Yep. No, because I didn't want to. You know, in-state in New Jersey is really expensive college. I mean, it's like Rutgers or all the Northeast schools were really expensive. And
Yeah.
so when I finally, because of a friend I had online, considered CSU, my parents were like, well, not west of Colorado. I don't know why that was. It was kind of an odd statement because they wanted me to go to California.
They didn't want to
where
cross
it
the
goes-
mountains.
where
You
it
know, I
becomes-
mean, it's
where it
not-
becomes more expensive again.
Yeah.
But they don't want me to be like, I'm gonna go to like UC Irvine, which I probably
Yeah.
couldn't have gotten into, but they didn't want that. So anyway, I liked it out here, and because I didn't want to be in New Jersey or anywhere near it, and
That's fair.
yeah, came here and yeah. I raced bicycles, despite the physique you see now today. I was
I've seen worse things tucked into a bike suit.
pretty. Well, it was. Yeah, I wouldn't do it now, but it was back in the day. Did that, and one of these guys I raced with was older, and he had a roommate who worked at New Belgium, and they got just like infinite.
Yeah,
beer,
tons.
basically.
Yeah.
And and I drank New Belgium Fat Tire there, and I was like, oh, interesting, because I drank other like shitty like normal ass lagers there, which now I drink. But
My, full
you know,
circle.
yeah. I was like, where's that?
Yeah. I'm literally
like Fat
going
Tire.
home and buying PBR on my way home. Like,
Yeah.
this is,
No,
like,
no,
I've been
no,
thinking
I
about
liked
that
it because
all
it's sweet. It's I can see why people who don't like lager get into something like Fat Tire 1554 because it's got a sweetness to it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more like cola.
Do they still make
or
1554?
smoothies. I don't know.
They brought it back. They
brought it back, but they
edited
changed
for a
it.
minute and brought it back.
I remember
or
buying the
maybe-
old version and the new version. Side
It's a
by
hazy
side.
IPA now.
2015 or something. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I know there's like a whole
From
there's like
sports
Fat
beer
Tire
to-
IPA now.
No,
There's
it's
like
a
whole
It's a
thing.
hazy black IPA.
It's a hazy
Yeah.
black
Yeah.
IPA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's IPA.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my thing. Yeah, it was.
It's coffee.
Yeah, this is a
Yeah.
coffee sour IPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
This
if
is
you
great.
could say something about this,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
would be fucking dope. 'Cause
This
it's
is so
really
good.
good.
200-hour fermented.
Yeah,
Don't
actually,
use
yeah,
it, you
this
can
is
tell 'em,
super fucking cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
So it's called
yeah.
Gemini. I feel like I really rolled out the collab train on accident. Collab with Corvus Coffee. So,
Look at that.
what the beans are is a 200-hour fermented coffee bean before it's roasted. And I'm probably gonna fuck
Some
this
of it
up
is like
and-
I don't know the whole split, but some of it is aerobic and some of it's anaerobic.
yeah,
It's like split, and it's like aerobic and then anaerobic and then everything aerobic again.
right. Yeah,
It's the whole thing. When I wrote the description of this beer, I just had to copy and paste what Phil from Corvus
Yeah. Yeah.
told us because I was like, I can't really elaborate on that. I really don't know what the
Yeah.
hell's going on about
Yeah.
fermented coffee, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
All beers anaerobic.
Yeah, do you feel
Well,
like
it's like inoculated like spontaneously, right? They don't like put yeast on the beans.
No, they just let it go. They
Yeah.
just like let
Yeah,
it
so
sit.
they'll like
Yeah.
harvest the berry and then let it sit. So it's like carbonic maceration, and you have like anaerobic
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
aerobic. what like I
It's
don't,
different. Carbonic's different. We don't have to get into the whole different deal. but
Okay,
it's,
cool.
yeah.
I guess this
Yeah.
isn't a beer podcast.
Carbonic is
So basically, basically,
a lot of people think they're doing carbonic and they're not in the beer
Yeah.
world, to be honest with you. Yeah.
So basically, what's happening is that like the bean is like going through this metamorphosis into a butterfly. But no, it's really like a softer, more delicate profile. It's funky as all get out.
As you
Like-
said that, my acid just kicked in. So that was good. I like that.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Wow. Turns into a butterfly.
You look like the kind of guy that microdoses. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about it on
We
the
talked
last
about
show.
No
that was the last-
shit? Oh.
That was the last show. I was like, one time I did too much and I played Civ 6 for like 6 hours.
Yeah. All
Pretty
right,
sure we
fair,
talked about
fair.
it, yeah.
All right, it's just memory recall. That's all it is.
That's okay, yeah.
But yeah, anyway,
Still
so
on that train, so.
yeah, it's super good. Just blended with our kind of less tart Solera beer. Really like let the coffee shine through. Really like soft cherry profile.
Yeah.
Tons of chocolate.
It's
It's
got
cool
a really
'cause
nice
you-
texture to it. That's
Yeah.
the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not too dry. Obviously, it's going to be like a little puckery and
Yeah.
sour, but like that has like a texture to it that the other two didn't have. You know,
Yeah.
necessarily.
And that's-
Even the one with current. I mean, the progression we kind of went in. It seemed to get softer as we
Yeah.
went a little
Yeah,
bit, a little
for
bit
sure.
more like.
It was-
full
I
mouthfeel,
planned
you know?
that out.
Yeah,
It
that-
was very intentional.
Yeah.
You're so smart.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's what we see. I mean, that this kind of true spontaneous fermentation of any fruit, right? You can talk about natural wine or you can talk about coffee. You're producing flavors that are not achievable from a straight pitch of microbes because you have this progression of microbes where the first generation makes flavors that probably are not good,
Yeah.
but they make precursors, which the second generation's fermentation then converts metabolically into something that is different and good. And you can't get that kind of progression from a pitch or from a, so I don't know much about coffee fermentation, but it makes sense that you can get like ultimate complexity from fermenting coffee cherries or
Yep.
berries, whatever you call them.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as
because
you
of
let
the
like
same thing,
microbes
right?
like take over, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden that thing starts to evolve, even
and-
from its own.
yeah, and you have-
from
you
where
have-
it started, right?
Totally. And you have
Because when you roast, you probably just you kill that right away, right? Like,
there's
it's
nothing.
done.
Well,
Yeah.
Ideally, it's probably if you're trying to make straight coffee, there's probably no fermentation before.
Well, of course,
Right.
yeah.
Before you just roast off all that
Uh-huh.
fleshy part. Right?
I'd be curious
I
to
don't
see.
know.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know if anybody ever does anything
Yeah.
like that. Because that'd be.
I mean, I know
yeah.
people. I mean, Corvus is not the first people to ever ferment a coffee bean, but
No, well, and
yeah, but I mean, it's not something that I don't think a lot.
It's definitely
not
not
something
common.
a lot of people.
Yeah,
do.
not
yeah,
common.
they're-
It's not common.
It is like really a new practice. Their farmers are
Yeah.
like just getting into it, and
Yep.
Phil actually like spends a lot of time flying down to
He's down
spend
there.
time.
And I would guess that you have to really work with these people because
Yeah.
you can't ship the whole deal, across
Yeah.
halfway across the world,
Right.
which is what we're talking about for any coffee.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
then the fermentation, I would guess that there's some. I'm speaking out of my ass right now about coffee. I really don't know, but I would guess
Sounds good.
that working with them is important.
Yep,
You
it's
know
no
what I mean?
fact check.
And I'm sure the people who are fermenting coffee beans are all working closely with farmers because
Yeah.
it has to be
course.
fresh. It has to be.
Yeah.
You can't let them dry out or whatever. It won't work.
I'm sure
Yeah.
like the better roasters gonna go pick their beans just like
Right.
brewers do with hops.
And they know, the roasters are like, this is what's, and then you're gonna let it sit here for a minute, or you're gonna ship it right away, so we can do that.
Can I grab like a short guy of the pale ale?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. I don't actually drink coffee, but I love this beer. We've always made Gemini, and the original was called Lunex, but very similar beers, coffee sours.
Well, I mean, isn't
And-
that like a lot of food and a lot of things you drink, right? You wouldn't necessarily have it on its own straight, but if you
Right,
cook it a
right.
certain way, or if you
I
blend
don't-
the
I don't-
flavors a
yeah.
bit, you know.
I don't really like I don't like the astringency necessarily of coffee, and everybody's like, well, just add a little bit of cream, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. I could probably.
You can make
I've
this
tasted
work.
it,
if
and I'm
I
like,
want, yeah.
I don't spit it out. I'm just like, I don't know if I want to drink that every day. And
Yeah.
I know that I would just nerd out about it and then be like a super coffee nerd. And then, I'd try cream for like a month, and then I would just be drinking it black, and I would be like distilling it, all kinds of crazy shit. I'm just like, I don't need that.
Yeah,
know?
you don't know how to hold off. Like
I know that
especially
I
if
would
it's something
be
you like.
full-on
Yeah,
with coffee
you just
nerd.
go in on it hard.
I mean, the first time I had an IPA or something, I probably didn't like it either. But here we are.
Yeah,
and
of course.
And I like pretty much any beer you can give me, and so I know that would happen with coffee. But I just don't really drink it.
I mean,
And-
lucky you. That you
But
don't,
I love
like,
how it smells, right? I love
Yeah.
making coffee. My girlfriend drinks coffee. I love making it, putting it in the machine, or pour over or going to a coffee house, whatever it is. I love how it smells. And to me, this beer is about the aroma of it, which to me is the best part of coffee because I don't like.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't
the same.
like the flavor. Of the
I'm the
mouthfeel
same
of it.
way with weed, man. Like I can't smoke weed.
Yeah.
But I love the smell.
It smells great.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but inhaling smoke in your lungs.
I can't
is a
smoke
different-
weed either.
yeah. I'm surprised you haven't lit one up on the show. to
I'm
be
high as
honest.
shit. I'm still high as shit.
Well, I just like I used to smoke a ton in high school, and then I stopped. And then anytime I do it now, I just don't love the feeling, so I just don't do it. Right.
That's fair. That's
so
fair.
far as much as like I did some DMT in the park a couple weeks ago, and somebody when we were smoking it, somebody
Quite a different thing.
yes,
Yeah.
but I love psychedelics, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, I hear you.
I like we were
stimulants.
so we were like on the at the park he put it in a bowl and he
Hmm.
actually had sprinkled it on top of some weed, and for a fraction of a second
Yeah,
I
that
actually
was the
thought
same.
to ask him like, hey, can I just get like a bowl of DMT?
Dude.
Because this weed's gonna fuck
But it
me
did.
up.
But once you inhaled it, it did not fucking matter. I'm sure.
No, but it,
You were like, oh, it's a little weed.
but
never
but the
mind.
after
Just
effects
lasts
do.
longer.
So you come
Yeah.
back
Because
from
the
DMT,
DMT
you're like, oh, I got
yeah.
that kind of
DMT,
high.
you're like, you come back
So,
down.
so
though.
do you
And it's-
feel?
yeah.
It's not
You know,
short, right?
I did
Yeah.
DMT like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
first time, or
Yeah.
okay.
It was wild.
Yeah,
I went
it's
up to South
amazing.
Dakota to visit my grandparents.
Oh, I thought you were
and
gonna
then
say
I
in
just-
your vision too.
And they were like, here, have some DMT.
Dude, your grandparents are wild. Jesus Christ.
I was gonna say I
Rapid
usually go to another
Oh,
galaxy when I do
Yeah.
DMT, not South Dakota.
Right? No. So there were like, there are layers, whatever. But like, I ended up like hanging out with some people, and it was like, do you want to do DMT? And I was like, I do.
Yeah, of course.
I do. And the weirdest part about DMT, the way that I did it, was we did it out of a crack pipe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how you do it. I think.
Yeah. So I just have never, right? So
It's
I,
a crystal. I mean, it's a crystalline solid.
right. Yeah. So, man, yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
I've only done it a couple times, so I
Yeah.
can't say I'm an aficionado or
Sure.
anything. But
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
I love it. I think
Yeah.
it's
You
really
didn't like
cool.
jump out of the window, obviously. Or anything.
No.
I'm
I
sit-
just laid
when
down.
when I do it, I'm literally just like sitting down. I just close my eyes.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
can
yeah.
see that
So-
shit on YouTube. It's like
Dude,
guy
yeah,
smokes
yeah.
DMT and like
they-
he's good for like
See, what's
15
crazy to me
seconds,
is
then
now-
he gets up and fucking
Dies. Yeah.
goes nuts.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
I
you
did-
gotta have somebody there maybe who's not doing it.
Yeah.
Right, the instant.
There were like 4 people, and then the person doing.
But it
DMT.
only lasts like a minute, so you can all
Yeah, a
do
couple
it.
minutes,
But
yeah.
it's
somebody,
like- it's
just
like
don't all
fif-
do it at the same
Yeah,
fucking
it's like a
second.
it's like
and
a
you're
15-minute thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I
so
mean,
some
if
people,
you
other
just
people-
Yeah, 'cause
stagger
then you have to like come down off of it
Yeah.
because you can't do DMT, wake up, and do DMT. Like I guess like
Yeah.
it's still in your system. It's less effective.
I
Whatever.
mean, it's like any. I mean, it's probably like any psychedelic. I don't know. Can you do it over and over? Because you know
Yeah.
the thing with like mushrooms is like if you do mushrooms the next day they don't do anything at all.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's
I think that just
well,
depends on the person.
I mean, you build up a tolerance super fast.
yeah, sure.
Sure.
I mean, you
makes
can't
sense.
be somebody like, I do mushrooms every day. In a large quantity, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like sounds like you just like mushrooms. You're not even getting any psychedelic
Yeah,
benefit
that's
out of it.
really,
Yeah.
really
they don't
weird.
taste
You
good.
just like the
that.
taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me you like eating shit without telling me you like eating shit.
I
That's
don't see. I don't. People say that, but I don't think they taste that bad.
Really?
Oh no, I don't
No,
think it's
I
that
think-
bad.
I think-
But the
I've heard
weird
people
thing
like,
is,
oh, it tastes so gross. And I'm like, I mean, it's not like.
I don't like regular mushrooms.
in a
I
weird
don't
way,
like
yeah,
don't-
I like
I don't-
psilocybin
I don't want-
mushrooms more than I like
Yeah,
regular
yeah,
I
yeah.
literally
mushrooms.
don't
Sure,
want
yeah.
mushrooms on like my pizza, and
No.
like I wouldn't probably order like a mushroom sauce at an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
But I don't like
Oh,
psilocybin
God.
mushrooms.
But if I'm
don't-
gonna trip,
I think
I'm
the
just like,
texture
okay,
also
I'll do it.
bothers
Yeah.
me. The texture of it bothers
When
the
I
shit out
prefer
of
them
me.
dried though. That's
Yeah.
the thing, right? Like when they're like kind of
Yeah, but
kind
it's a
of
texture
chewy,
thing. Yeah.
When they're not dried, it's a little bit like weirder.
Just fucking
They're kinda
chop
meaty.
it up and put it in a pill for me, because
okay.
otherwise,
yeah,
I'm-
no.
Or like I don't know. What do you? How do you feel about tea?
I haven't done the tea thing.
I haven't done tea either. I'd probably be fine with that
Yeah.
for sure.
Tea.
Yeah.
Oh, like mushroom tea.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't
yeah,
like tea.
yeah.
I don't
So,
like tea.
so
No
gonna kind
coffee,
of
no
hit
tea.
that
No
family
coffee, tea, I
train
don't-
again. My mother taught me how to do mushrooms when I was in high school, and she was like, "Just make a
Slayer.
peanut butter sandwich
yeah,
with mushrooms in it."
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
I put
I'm
some.
definitely allergic to peanuts.
Don't do
Peanut
that.
butter.
yeah,
Don't
maybe
do it.
You shouldn't do that.
Don't do it.
So just put dried
I
mushrooms
will
between
have-
bread
I will
and
have
have
a
a good
bad
time
trip.
with that.
Just fucking
Just
eat
a
them.
bad
They,
dude.
I don't know. They're kind of earthy.
Have
It's
you
like
ever
eating a
made like
Pringles.
a
I don't get
barbecue
it.
and mustard sandwich, like barbecue chip and mustard sandwich?
No.
Weird. But you know what's
That's
really
some-
good?
Just put some
That's some
mushrooms in
fucking
it.
Littleton
If you're not
bullshit.
allergic to peanut butter, peanut butter and
That's
pickles.
some like finding.
Okay.
That,
Oh, it's quite
that's
good.
really
It's
good.
quite
That's a
good.
combo I haven't had, but I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
both of those.
I
things.
started hearing about it
Yeah,
right around the
just
time
like-
the lockdown started.
All good.
And you're like, let's see what's in the cupboard.
And I was like, let me try that.
Because
And
I
I was
was-
like,
Peanut butter
oh,
and
it's
pickles
good.
dope.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I was
like really
allergic
good.
to peanut butter, I had to eat jelly and cheese sandwiches.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was gross.
Why
It
not
was
just
real
leave the
gross.
cheese off?
Yeah.
Because that's not part of the deal.
Well, you could
Like, nobody's
could
peanut
you
butter
do
jelly and
Nutella?
cheese.
But I don't have answers for these questions.
it
Okay,
just
I don't.
happened.
It
Wow.
just was my
Because
life.
jelly and bread
Yeah.
is
So-
like, okay.
It was just a joke.
That's a donut.
See if we can get him
Here we are.
Adding the craft single to it, I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it literally was a craft single. It wasn't like it
Oh,
wasn't
sure.
like
I'm,
yeah.
I'm getting what you're putting
Yeah,
down. I get
yeah.
it. It was probably a craft single. Yeah.
So, Alex, how was your DMT experience?
Yeah, it was really good. I didn't blast off.
Okay.
Did you see the machine gnomes?
Didn't see the machine gnomes.
I
I
did.
think that's technically.
I've seen them.
Is
I've
that
seen the
DMT
notes.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Is that
yeah,
the-
I got like tons of fractals.
McKenna
Got that
was
like
a- was it
euphoric.
DMT?
You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said it was machine gnomes for the DMT.
Yeah.
Was
yeah,
that what it was?
Yeah.
from?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact terminology, but I know what he's talking about.
He was
Like,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I
you see like
also-
some fucking dudes. just
There's like
doing-
minions. Yeah, I
They're
mean the only other way to
controlling
describe it, not like the
existence,
movie,
right?
but it's
Yeah,
like
no,
yeah,
not
yeah.
those minions.
They're just like these weird
Interesting.
human-like looking forms
Yeah, yeah.
that don't have a lot of detail. You know what I mean?
Right,
they, you
right,
know they have
yeah.
eyes and they have mouths,
Yeah.
but they're just like there.
This is
Yeah,
Phil,
yeah.
Philip McKenna, right? This guy, yeah.
Yeah. No,
I
it's
think he
Terrence
called
McKenna.
Terrence McKenna.
Terrence McKenna's
Philip
the
is
guy.
his brother.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think there's yeah,
Terrence.
both of them, but I think
Terrence and
is-
Philip. Is that what you're getting at?
Is that their names?
Isn't
on
that
on
from
South
South
Park,
Park?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's yeah.
All right. Well, then I don't know. It is
Not
Terrence
McKenna.
McKenna.
Yeah, you know.
It is Terrence McKenna, but his
he has
brother's
his
still
brother
alive and he
still,
talks
yeah,
about it.
and he still researches the stuff.
Yeah.
But Terrence was the one that went like really deep on it.
Yeah.
The
So you
machine
did have
elves,
like
yeah.
a good experience. Just
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
go like all the
Fractals,
way. Yeah.
etc. Yeah.
Dude
Yeah.
went hard. Yeah, he went hard.
Well,
Yeah.
it's weird because you have to in order to blast off, you have to hit it like really hard a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
you
but
gotta-
you get this feeling when I the best one that I've had was I was doing a off of pen because you can get like a vape pen
Right,
kind of thing,
right.
right? And I took 3 hits, but no, did I only take 2? Whatever the number was, I went 1 short of like a super
Could have
terrestrial,
done.
like,
Could have done. But
blast off.
but you're slipping away from reality.
But
You're
right,
supposed to be
yes.
taking the
so
third
while you're,
one. Or
so
whatever.
while you're doing that, yeah,
have to be
everything
like,
starts to
oh,
get a
hold
little
on.
kind of cloudy,
Yeah.
and you can feel it
It's
coming
not
on.
first in your
so
mind.
I'm just like,
to be
oh god, no!
Rip it some more. Yeah.
And now that I know, I would have been like, no, I should have held on for 1 more, and then you would have.
but you got to be
Yeah,
pretty focused
yeah.
to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
very
mean,
much
you're
so.
pretty
especially at
experienced
that
and
time. That was
focused.
my first time that I'd ever
Yeah,
done
you're
it,
like,
so I
this
didn't
is
know.
probably good. I'm going.
But I just
Yeah.
knew that I had heard
Yeah.
that before. Like you gotta all right, you gotta hit it really hard. You're gonna have to hit it multiple
You're
times.
gonna feel
You're
it
gonna feel weird but you
As
should
you're
hit it again.
feeling it,
Yeah.
hit it hard again.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Kind of wild.
Interesting. Yeah. I've
But
never
you
done
need-
DMTs.
Yeah. So the last one that I'd had was actually more of like it was like a powder instead of a crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
ground
But
up.
these guys were some straight wooks that I was like hanging out with, so I trust that
Yeah.
they got it from the lab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they don't have a
Yeah,
middle
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Like they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
they
Well,
they
I
got
feel
it.
like
Yeah.
most DMT is.
Yeah.
I've never heard of adulterated DMT.
Yeah.
I don't think people caught it.
Yeah.
I
The
don't-
the dude
the
who
money's not
the
there
dude
for
who I
that.
did it with was like, yeah, man, let me know and I'll send you some. Like, I was
Great.
Like, okay, yeah.
Give him a
so-
call.
Yeah, so I got
I'll
you.
keep you
like,
on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let's talk.
Yeah. Yeah. James is like trying to talk a little louder over us.
yeah,
Anyway, well, what's going on? Tell us about this beer.
Well, actually, this seems like it would be a great time to get
Yeah.
into some. Let's do
We're
some bad
fans.
reviews.
We're fans of
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
beer.
Yeah.
Can you give me? Can we pause it for like a second so I can pee? Because I
Just
go
go.
pee. Yeah,
Just
just
go.
go
pee.
Okay,
We'll
you can
talk.
start. Okay.
Yeah.
No, we can even
Yeah.
talk. We'll just talk about something else while you're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So DMT.
Yeah, James is gone. Let's talk a bunch of shit about James.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah. No, because I think it's really cool. I don't have a DMT guy. I know how it just kind of happens. Yeah, it just kind of comes up.
Yeah, and it was really cool because like this guy was like, yeah, man, like I'll like send you DMT. He's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like I'll mail it to you. I was like,
Yeah, the government's got bigger things to worry about than
Yeah.
like a gram of a powder.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
in a tiny sandwich
Yeah,
bag,
Yeah.
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 I've dropped stuff in the mail before, and you just have to act real sly about it as much as you can.
Yeah.
Trying to con the lady at FedEx like she gives a fuck.
Yeah.
They're like, is there anything
Yeah.
like perishable in this? You're like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mail our beer to our beer friends through UPS. I fucking send it through FedEx. And I'm like, is there any alcohol in this? And I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
30-pound box of alcohol.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
fucking, like, what?
I remember I was mailing some beer out at the post office one time, and they have the is anything liquid, flammable, perishable,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
right? And I said no, but then I just asked her. I'm like, what's with the liquid? Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, the plane could catch on fire.
Whoa.
And I'm like, I don't know if that Is that how your wiring system works? Is like all the wires that
Yeah.
control the plane?
It's just like a rat's
Like-
nest, like your beer is sitting on top.
Just a bunch of unhinged, unfringed wires. Sit like a fucking nest. Oh,
If you
boy.
saw it in a movie, there's just like a
There's
slow
like a shaky
thing out of the
piece of
box.
fucking-
Yeah,
yeah.
Just like, and then the corner starts to
Yeah,
leak,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then that's when the trouble starts.
This is in the cockpit, but the tail starts on fire. Oh, shit! Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't mail beer much anymore. I mean, I used to try to trade with people a little bit, but I never really got into that.
Dude,
world,
it's exhausting.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you missed some good sound effects in there for dubstep.
Oh, you should have
shit.
brought the mic.
Yeah, put it on your throat. Yeah.
Could have been great.
Yeah.
Should have brought the
Yeah.
mic.
Tinkling
No,
sound.
so I've got some friends that still
Lies.
do that. All right, well that's fair.
I'm your
I'm
friend.
just kidding. He has friends, I don't.
but I send beer, I don't know, once a month, and it's like I just lie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Like, I don't
No
give a
harm, no
fuck.
foul.
Like yeah. Like what are they gonna do? It's like $30 to send beer. Like I'll lose the $30. Like,
Right,
who gives a
yeah,
fuck?
You lie about what? What is going on?
Like
Shipping
shipping
about
at FedEx.
Shipping beer.
If
and
they're
stuff.
like, is there any liquid or blah blah blah? I just always say no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
fuck 'em.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to, at one point in time when I was real nerdy, I had a huge collection. You know, I had a cellar that
Yeah.
it would add to all the time. And then I just stopped giving a fuck.
Yeah.
Especially because so many things came in 24-ounce bottles or
You just
whatever.
can't like drink a lot.
Yeah, and there was plenty. I just wanted to be able to have some of it, you know, and because
Yeah.
I always felt like I had to share it with people because it came in a big bottle, and I also didn't always want 24 ounces
Yeah.
of this imperial
But
stout.
what about
or
now? It
whatever.
comes in a 4-pack.
That's better. I mean, but I'd still I'd rather have that and then be able to individually break
But
out
that's like-
cans when I
that's like-
want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
Like,
open the whole
as
thing.
opposed to like,
You'd rather have 4 500s than 1 750.
yeah. I mean, I'd just rather have, I'd rather have opportunity to bust out a smaller version that I can just consume on the
Because
couch.
once you open the bottle, it's done. I
Yeah.
mean, you
Yeah.
have to drink the whole thing, or it's,
Yeah.
you
Right,
can't- I mean,
right,
so you have
absolutely.
to.
With the
And
can,
with
it
the
seems like a
750
waste.
yeah, but the can. I mean, you're probably paying the same for 4 500s as you are
Yeah, you're
1
right.
750.
Yeah. No,
And honestly, for people listening, that's because bottles are really expensive compared to
Yeah.
cans, and it
Sure.
just is what it is. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, the cost is wildly different, so it kind of makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I had a something like 15 case cellar that I moved once. Nice. It's subtle, but nice.
Yeah.
They're
I
always
moved.
subtle.
I moved
It's
it
delicate.
once,
But the heart was there.
and then
heartburn was there.
I was like, okay, I'm never gonna move this again. And then like COVID hit and all the shutdowns hit. I was like, fucking bet. And I drank through. My girlfriend and I drank through 15 cases of beer
Wow.
in the
Hell
last
yeah.
year. Yeah,
That's fucking
and I
committed,
moved
yeah.
one single case of beer. I was like, that's fucking great. Yeah,
Right.
and it's
Yeah.
actually like a half case, and it's actually Dreamline Vert. That's all I have is a Dreamline Vertical.
Half case.
Yeah,
All.
yeah.
Yeah,
all-
because then
all
you're like
six,
now
yeah.
moving
All
beer
the drinks.
like boxes of beer bottles around with me.
And
like,
they're like
and-
30 fucking pounds
Oh, that's crazy.
per box, and it's like.
And they take a
fuck
lot of room. If
this.
you don't have like a basement or somewhere to put them in,
Yeah.
Just fucking take them to FedEx and send them to your next
Yeah.
address.
just
right?
ship them off to somewhere. Just
Ship
put
'em
them
to
somewhere.
yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I have like
Yeah.
a small box. I have just basically a box at my place that we use for bottles that people give us for the show and stuff, and we use them specifically for the show. You know,
Yeah.
when we have like comics episodes and stuff,
Yeah,
we-
yeah.
something nice to do for like people that are on or whatever. But I don't keep any more than that.
Right.
I want to drink the stuff.
Yeah.
And I know that certain things, like I've had plenty of beers that I'm like 2 years old. That's peak. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or it's actually way better than it would
Yeah.
have been right out of the bottle, which is super hot.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, yeah.
so boozy, right? And I've had plenty of things that I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
glad I sat on this. But then I just
Man, a
my
lot of those
my
stouts,
attention
man.
span.
Yeah.
oh, I
People
know.
want them. They're people. I think, and they're probably right. They're better when they're oxidized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you
Oh,
can
dude,
taste
yeah.
it on a big vertical of a stout. You know, over 5 years, you can taste it. And to
Mm-hmm.
me, it's probably about 2 years old. It's about peak
Yeah.
for a stout like that. But some people are like, oh, the 5-year one's super good. I'm like, to me, it starts
No,
tasting
it
like
turns. Yeah.
pretty
It's like so
cardboardy.
sad.
Like,
Yeah.
it is more mild. But the fresh one, yeah, it's like kind of extreme.
Yeah, as
It's-
soon as I get
it's
too
kind
much of
of,
that oxidation or
yeah.
too much of that like soy sauce kind of flavor,
But
that
a
you get
bit
with
of
the
it
barley
can
wines,
mellow it.
Yes,
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
much
a
so.
bit can mellow it.
I recently did a 6-year Black Tuesday vert, and yeah, like right around 2-3 was like the money zone years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
Was like just like right where you wanted it.
Well, even
but-
something like Bigfoot was like that too. Even I mean, it's
Yeah.
barley wine, not a stout, but I always felt like 2 years was really when it hit its
Yeah.
stride.
Yeah.
As opposed to some people have like I got a 15-year-old Bigfoot. I'm like, Gross.
Yeah.
That's
We might have one right now in the back corner.
Yes, I don't
got
know
out
if we
of a
have
gold
those
mine.
anymore, but yeah, they were all water damaged. Like no lie, like 2002, 2003, like
I waited
Bigfoots,
in.
like,
Is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Bust that shit out, James.
You could open the top with your fingers.
yeah, they're gone.
No, but they were the ones I tasted were intact.
Yeah.
The cans, the top, not the can, the crown was rusted, but it was you couldn't probably open it with your fingers, but it was pretty close. It didn't take much.
Yeah.
I had like I think it was late 1700s, might have been early 1800s. Barley wine. I'm not trying to big dick everybody here, but I did.
You really just have them.
It was very soy saucy, and it was not that good. But I sure as shit signed up to get that. Like,
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I don't know. I was just there at a bottle share, and people were like, "Oh, this is for like a select group of people," and they're like, "James, you want to come over to ours?" I was like, "What is it?" And they're like, "Oh, it's like this like 200-year-old." I was
You
like,
see him actually.
Yeah.
He had a beer.
Yeah.
He had beer in his glass, and he just
Yeah.
throws it over his
Right.
shoulder.
Literally, no, like legit.
poor
I was like,
woman
"What's
is
this?"
like,
Oh! Yeah. I had the first time I had
Synchronized- How
Loric.
you guys had that synchronized?
You
was
know,
pretty
super
awesome.
super rare Cantillon Loric.
Yeah.
I was in the line for a fucking porta potty, and somebody was like, "James, you're gonna try this," and I was like, "All right, whatever." And like I tried, and I was like, "Man, it's interesting." I was like, "What is this?" And they're like, "Oh, it's called Loric, and it's like flat. It's like goose that didn't carbonate from Cantillon." And I was like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
And I was like, later, I was like talking to him. I was like, "Well, what?" Like after I like went and like took a piss. Like I drank it in the like porta potty line, went in the little plastic porta
That's
potty,
an
you know,
experience.
the whole
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
And then like I came out and I was like, "So what was that?" And they were like, "Dude, that was like super rare, like white whale beer. Like no one has that." And I was
You're just like at a porta potty.
I was like, well, I don't know. I mean, it tasted kind of like flat goose.
I mean, if we're gonna be
But
honest,
like,
like
cool,
saying
cool to know that I've had it.
You're just like dick
Um,
in hand, fly buzzing around your face. Like,
I mean, I drank it before I got in the porta. I don't bring beverages into the porta
well,
potty.
I don't know, man.
No, I don't do that. I don't do that.
I'm a traveler.
I finish
I'm
it.
just
I
gonna
finish
go
it.
wherever. This
I
beer
don't
comes
finish
with
the
me.
can. I finish the can. If I'm in, I time it right. I don't.
Fair.
It's nasty,
fair,
man.
fair,
I hold
fair.
my breath in there usually.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Really?
They're
Yeah,
gnarly. It's part of
Yeah, sometimes they're
especially
not.
at festivals.
Yeah, I used to do this thing called Ragbri. It's the Register, Des Moines Register newspaper, annual great bike ride across Iowa. And they put a porta potty by the camping site you rode your bike across Iowa and you camped every night, and they put a porta potties there. And I remember like going there in the morning, and it was like a mountain of shit that like breached
It had crested over the top like
the
an
level of the
iceberg.
seat.
Yeah.
And that's when I learned to hold my
It's
breath.
enough to sink the Titanic. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I was just like, oh Lord, and I'm like, who did the top one? Like, who were the last 10 people who were like,
Put
I'm
the-
fucking,
Put the Hershey
I'm gonna
kiss on the
fucking
top of this
I'm
thing.
gonna nail this. I'm like, what, dude? Like, I don't know.
Those 10 people just had to shit, man.
They got
just
good
had-
aim. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They're
it's
sitting
really
on a bike
gross.
seat most of the
It's
day.
really
They'll
gross.
figure it out.
Yeah, it's not good for your
They know
guts.
their butt pretty well.
You know,
at that point.
drinking, 4 liters of Gatorade.
Yeah.
And then coming and drinking beer and burgers
Yeah.
at the end of that.
That's
You
all
know,
just
it's
liquid.
not
Yeah,
great. Yeah, it's a
that's-
lot of sugar and like a lot of. It's not great.
Yeah, and in principle, it sounds great, right? Because you're like, we're biking across Iowa. We're
Yeah,
gonna go
yeah.
camping every night,
Yeah.
but it's probably brutal.
It's a lot. It's a lot of fun. I mean, people do it in a semi-competitive way, and people do it in like they leave before dawn and they arrive after dark because the farmers put out like a Bloody Mary stand and like a slip and slide. And
Oh, that's
like
fun.
That's
they're
cool,
swinging
yeah.
into like they put a cherry picker and
Yeah.
you're slinging yourself into like some lake they made, and when you're topless. It's pretty wild.
That's a silly good time.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. I never did the fun way.
Yeah.
I did it with my dad, and we just kind of plodded along. Someday I'll do it the fun way because
Okay,
I'm not in
yeah.
shape to do it in a competitive way. I'm gonna need dusk till dawn,
Yeah.
kind of situation.
Yeah.
Dawn till dusk.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna do it. But
Question for you guys, just while I'm thinking about it. Do you guys encourage like rolling the bottle or anything before people open, or are the dregs
no.
okay? Like, is it like?
oh, the dregs are okay to drink, but
Yeah.
I don't encourage it. Usually, I think. I mean, if you know what you're getting into, then you can make your own decision. But
And what is it that
that's-
people are getting into?
Yeah. Well, it's just going to be a more rich, yeasty flavor.
Okay.
I mean, generally, I think for me, I would do it on the last pour, if that's something you want.
Well, I was curious. I mean, because I've always there was always the yeast shits that people
Yeah.
might get if they've got all the dregs.
You
at
just
the
get that
bottom.
with our
I
beer
think
anyway.
no,
No.
I think that the yeast shits
We
is
got
from
some
people.
Yelp reviews.
I think
here.
I think the yeast shits
Was
is
on the
from
toilet
people.
for hours. 4
The
stars.
yeast shits is from people who've drank just a lot of beer in a night.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it seems a lot.
No, I just didn't know how much validity
What
there
happens-
actually would
no,
be to
I
something
don't-
like that.
I don't think that it's validity, but it's like B vitamins. It supposedly can help a hangover. Like the Belgian way, I guess I've been told, is that you pour the beer properly, and then the last one you like put in a shot glass and you shoot it.
Oh, okay.
Just like the last little bit of beer.
Interesting,
real cloudy. Which
Didn't know,
it
but-
would be like a not that hazy IPA.
Yeah.
If you were just looking at the turbidity level. Today, but that's what they would do.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. That was
And
curious.
you shoot it, and yeah. I mean, it's gonna be kind of yeasty, and it's gonna taste like the beer, but like kind of like yeastier. But I wouldn't say like shake it all up into the beer.
Okay, yeah.
Just
curious.
Nah.
Well, we love your beer.
Yeah, it's
We
good.
think you're great. It's a reason you guys
Let's
are
get
back.
into these shitty reviews.
Let's
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
the
Nice.
Speaking of how much you love it, let's.
Yeah, let's shit all over it.
Well,
Yeah.
let me just say
Let's
that
make
I
it
don't
like a
always
regular
look
house.
for bad reviews. I just look for the funny ones,
Okay.
and they don't always
All right.
coincide with being bad.
Did
All
we
right.
do Goblin last time?
Yes.
Okay.
One of the first
I'm
Black
only doing
Project.
ones from the last year.
Okay.
Since last
I've got.
time.
I mean, I've got new ones. Yeah,
One
I
of our
didn't- I
first
didn't
Black
rehash
Project
this.
reviews, which I think was for Jumpsy when it first came out, the only words they said, I think it was 5 stars. They said "fucking lasers." And I'm like, bro, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. But all right, this is before people said fire, and also lasers are not fire. I don't know what's going on, but I'll take it.
Lasers can
that.
start fire.
Fucking lasers.
We
yeah,
did
it was
a-
like sweet.
We had a review a couple weeks ago, and somebody just said farts.
Huh.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Now, what do you got, Steve?
I've got 3 reviews.
I've got 3 as well,
total.
but 2 are gonna go bang bang like pretty quick.
Same. Weirdly enough, we'll start with this one. This one's from 4 days ago.
Okay.
This is a fresh one. Have you read it yet?
No.
No, probably
Great.
not. Yeah.
Joseph Freeman, 4 days ago, says 1 star. The beer tastes like burnt rubber, vomit, spelt, and car exhaust.
Spelt.
Yeah.
Spelt.
So
They
he
put
knew
spelt
what spelt
in the
was.
middle of vomit and car
Of
exhaust.
all that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, we don't put spelt in our beer. What was the beer?
This is a
But the,
Google.
but the fact that he even used like a beer
It's a
term.
Google review for.
Yeah, it's a Google review.
He used the beer term in the middle
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
other shit.
It
Where you're
sounds
like, okay,
a
I
name-
get
it
who this
sounds
person
like
is.
a name I recognize, to be honest with you. So.
Okay, well, let me also bring this up. I decided to see what else Joseph Freeman
Yeah.
has
I
reviewed.
like that. Yeah.
He gave PetSmart 2 stars without writing anything.
Nice.
So one
These
of-
animals didn't help me enough.
he gives a lot of places in Peru 5 stars. There's a place on South Broadway called the Gallo Italian Super Club and Bakery. 3 stars. It used to be better.
El Gallo down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to be better. Wow.
Used to be better. Where
Thanks
is
for
It's like a
contributing.
new restaurant. I guess it used to be better
I
when
don't
it
know.
didn't
Oh,
exist.
Yeah.
Dude was
Yeah,
having
it
a
used
good
to be
time
better
in
2
Peru.
weeks ago. Yeah, it was like,
yeah. It's like within a year, I guess. Maybe
Things
maybe
have
a
He
year.
was having a really good time in Peru.
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
Oh, are you on Joseph Freeman?
I'm looking
Oh,
at
man.
You know,
Yeah, we're
Joseph
scoping it
Freeman
out.
is a name that sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
I mean, he posted it,
so
so,
I don't
it's
even
on the
wanna-
internet.
Yeah.
The internet never
it's
forgets.
it's a name
you know,
that
it's
sounds
out there.
familiar, super
Yeah.
familiar to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
Also,
out
doesn't
there.
like PetSmart, so don't take
Yeah.
it offensively.
Yeah.
No, there was
Yeah, yeah.
one. I can't find it. It's not pulling up yet, but there was one that really fucking got me. That was super funny.
That was from him?
Yeah. Give me a second. I'll look through it.
How about I'll do mine?
Yeah,
And
great.
then you go ahead. So this is one of the ones that I think, for as much shit as I give Untapped, I appreciate when somebody does it the right way. Okay? So this is for Microdot.
okay. Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa, this is old. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 2019. It is.
That was a. Yeah. Okay.
It's labeled in there as an IPA sour. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
this is,
All right. Okay. It's from Tim P. And he said, again, the beer is well put together, but this one wasn't quite my taste. Even with the
Great.
flavors working against my rating, it's solid. 4 out of 5 stars.
Huh. Yeah.
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 All right,
Pretty
great.
good, right?
That's sweet.
Isn't it
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
when somebody uses
Yeah.
it the right way?
Super on edge about that.
Okay,
Yeah.
super. All right, same beer. Ben F, 2.5 stars. This was definitely fermented in my grandpa's old rubber boots.
This is the same guy, same beer.
Same beer.
beer.
Same
Okay.
Same beer.
What beer
Maybe
is it?
it's from Microdot.
Oh, okay,
maybe
yeah.
people like that. And then somebody commented on his. Drew M said, "Generous with the 2.5 then."
Yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't the same as Joseph Freeman from my last
But
one.
also, like, how many beers have you? I mean, I've chugged beer out of a shoe before. Let's be honest. I played rugby. Like, you shoot, you
Fair.
drink it out
Yeah,
of the cleat.
yeah, yeah.
All right,
I've
it
chugged
just
beer out of a
happens.
Frisbee.
Yeah.
How is that? Just like, hey, don't want your mom to see that you're having any Pappy's old beers, so I'm gonna pour it in this boot, so you can sneak it inconspicuously.
It's a fermentation booth.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's how we make our beer taste the way it does. Is it all gets through? It's boot filtered.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like the most
Timberland.
about this place is that it's all foot filters. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
shoes.
Yeah.
James, you seem very upset right now. Are
No,
you
I'm
okay?
not. I'm not. I'm trying to find out if I know this guy or not. but
Joseph
sorry.
Freeman also reviewed.
Yeah.
He also reviewed Del Mar Park, right?
Just a park.
He reviewed the park at Del Mar Park. He said
Okay.
2 stars. Large population of people living in the park. Human and dog waste is everywhere. So he took his time to post that. So you
And
know,
also
Like not
is
a happy person.
is enough of a tracker that he can discern between the human and the dog waste.
Yeah,
Let
honestly,
it be-
that's really yeah.
He was
took a
actually
good look.
tracking a
Yeah.
human through the park. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's some shit over here.
that
There's
is
some
a
broken
human
branches
poopy.
over there. Let's see if I can follow this guy.
That's a human poopy. Joseph Freeman,
He's like,
expert
that's
on
clearly Labrador.
human poopy.
Yeah, and
Joseph
also
Freeman.
good luck letting a rating for a park actually make any change.
It's
in
not, yeah.
How about you go out and vote, you piece of shit, instead of
Yeah.
hanging out in Peru
I
all the
didn't even
goddamn
know-
time?
I didn't even know you could rate a park. That's wild.
Oh, you
No, he had.
I mean, you
to
can rate
invent
everything.
that.
you can rate
That makes sense.
Yeah, one of my favorites is when the water was out in our place one time, so I was looking up Denver Water just to like find the phone number, and I saw that they had reviews for it.
Which are probably all bad because no one's like,
Of
I love
course,
Denver water.
Yeah, nobody
You
calls
only
Denver
go to give
Water.
a review when you're like, there's a problem.
Yeah, and I'm sure I don't know if you guys knew this or if this happened to you, but like, did Denver send you a Brita filter?
No.
No.
Okay, so for certain neighborhoods.
Neither of us live in Denver, so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So for certain
They had
neighborhoods,
lead. Yeah.
Denver sent everybody a Brita filter
Cool.
because they're like, there are trace amounts of lead in our water. We're
Yeah.
working on it, we promise. But in the meantime, here's a Brita filter for you to not drink right out of
Yeah.
the tap. So most of the bad reviews were people that didn't know how to use a Brita filter.
Holy shit.
So they're really negatively viewing the Brita filter comes. They're like, it doesn't work. I don't get
They
it.
went to Denver Water to give the review.
I'll do slow pour.
Which is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I use a Brita filter in Inglewood because the tap water tastes like absolute ass.
And I'll, can I do the same, please?
I like Denver tap water, but they did change it significantly. I forget what exactly the chemical change was, but they changed it because of the lead. Yeah,
Lower pH.
increased. Yeah.
Higher pH.
Did they
Yeah.
consult you guys? They're like, we need help with our
No,
pH
they just
levels,
told
and we
us.
heard you're the best.
They just told us they were the softness, the hardness, I guess, was increasing. I always confuse softness.
That's
and
what
It's usually how
happens in the
erections
city.
work.
it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
The
that's-
city I'm in usually.
I heard that before.
Hardness.
It's just not like a real chemical way of talking about things. But anyway, they changed one of them so that it would leach less lead from the pipes, so we weren't having a Detroit situation.
That makes sense.
Situation.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But
Fair enough.
but it was like pretty significant change. We monitored our water pretty closely for quite a few years here, and it doesn't change that much. Even though we change, I think Denver changes between like Dillon Reservoir and Platte River, depending on the time of year or something.
Yeah, so that
there
could,
is
like-
there's a pretty hard switch when it becomes like springtime.
So that could potentially affect the beers a lot, right?
Yeah, but here's our thing: is we only remove the chloramine and chlorine from the water.
Okay.
Because
Chloramine, more like boron. Okay.
it's just like chlorine, but it's a different molecule.
Comes from trees.
Yeah, it's a chlorine molecule. Yeah, so we get rid of that, but we don't adjust the water chemistry for most of our beers because we consider it part of our terroir.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's kind of that makes a ton of sense, right?
Yeah,
Because if
I
you're
mean,
gonna,
that's
if
what
you're
we
gonna,
do.
if the
Yeah.
beer is supposed to taste like the environment anyway,
Yeah.
then why would you want to make substantial changes to the water?
Yeah, I mean, I see people. They want to make beer, and they want to do spontaneous ale. And I'm not knocking anybody for doing this, but they want to make spontaneous ale in their location, and then they add all this stuff to adjust the water to be like Brussels. And I'm like, well, Brussels water is very different from a lot of parts of the United States.
Correct.
And so, I mean, that's fine, but. To me,
But
no.
it's
I don't want. We make beer in the style of and the traditional method of lambic, but I'm not trying to make beer that tastes exactly like it comes from Brussels. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
it's-
make beer using that style, which is made using our water and our barrel room and our microbes.
Yeah, why would you want to
And-
just replicate what
Yeah.
somebody else is doing just because it's popular? It's like, but that seems to me breaks the spirit of doing the whole thing in the first place, right?
I agree.
Name names.
Some breweries do that, though. Some breweries literally have made it their thing to literally replicate Cantillon Goose.
Yeah,
Um,
put
and
temperature
to be fair,
probes in
uh,
Cantillon.
I mean, do they achieve? Do
and-
you think they achieve that?
Oh yeah, I think that there's breweries that have made that their thing, and I think they do a really good job of replicating. They're closer to Belgian Goose than we are. They're not
I mean,
spontaneous about it.
But who? I mean, would you be willing to mention anybody?
This is not a shot at them. So just to be clear,
Right. I mean, if you're saying that it's just as good as Cantillon Goose,
yeah,
like, it's
no,
not a
it's
shot.
it's a
Like,
great beer.
yeah.
Beechwood Blendery does that, and they're straight up and honest about it.
Yeah.
Their goal was to replicate, I believe, Cantillon, but if nothing else, their goal is to replicate Belgian Goose.
And their beer is fantastic.
It is
And
it is
multiple
fantastic.
awards.
Yeah, you
And
guys
also-
don't have to apologize for it. I mean,
no,
isn't
no.
that like that's so many
No,
breweries
and
though?
I-
Even
and
if
I
it's
know
not
those guys,
Cantillon Goose,
and I don't think that they would take it that way because they literally say that.
yeah.
It is
And
not a
that's
spontaneous product.
listen. I've
Part
heard
of
of
it
less
is
noble pursuits. Okay,
Yeah.
then like,
No,
yeah.
it's a super cool idea.
Yeah.
It's not what we're trying to do, and so it's interesting when people try to say, well, Black Project Goose doesn't taste like Cantillon Goose. Well,
Good. We don't. Want
also literally neither does Jardin Goose.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste anything like Cantillon Goose. So, if Cantillon is the guideline of what is goose, well, there's a lot of people in Belgium who make stuff that is made the same way, who doesn't taste anything like that, or is made actually somewhat divergently from the way they do it. And we do it in a traditional method, and it doesn't necessarily taste like that. But all I can say is it's the difference between my palate and the people who blend it, Cantillon or wherever you're comparing to, and it's the difference between the microbes.
Yeah.
But that's the point.
Yeah, that is the point. Because
Right? I
if
mean,
you're gonna go through
yeah.
all this work to like, and if
Literally, just go buy
well,
Cantillon.
It's
I mean,
literally-
it's
one of the only
good.
It's one of the only styles out there, if you will, or one of the only kind of traditions that actually is based around a tradition.
Absolutely,
right? Like, it's
absolutely.
based on it's the way you do things
Yeah.
is you can't call it this unless you do it that particular way, right? So
Yeah. If you ask the Belgians, that's for sure true. I
Right.
mean, if you ask a lot of non-brewers in Belgium, for sure, the lore for years and years there. I've talked to people, they don't know who I am or what I'm doing, and they say you can only do this kind of beer
right,
in the Senne Valley.
which is a little.
It's
hack,
the only
but-
place where the microbes exist. I'm like, interesting.
You're like, well.
I had this conversation with this guy. He's like 70. He's been drinking. He tells me I've been drinking lambic since I'm 8. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
And we're at this like lambic bar, and he goes, you can only do this in Senne Valley. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to tell you about what I do.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
bullshit,
I'm
but-
just like,
but
we're
thanks.
just going to let that go because
Yeah.
I don't agree with you. But I do think it would be different if you did it somewhere else. But I mean, you can do spontaneous fermentation
Right.
Everywhere.
most places in the world.
Where do you think literally every style of alcohol?
I mean,
was
I've
created?
isolated yeast from a nowhere near a brewery.
Yeah.
In a blizzard in Iceland. We never did anything with it,
Yeah.
but I put out a fucking pot, just a small pot, of wort in Iceland, and brought back a sample of it and grew yeast from it. And
Why
and
would you
and
go through that much goddamn trouble if you never fucking did anything?
Well, I mean, this was before Black Project was like
Oh,
our,
okay.
our only thing. We did Black Project at the time, but it was we were doing other stuff, and
Is that a new tattoo? Oh, okay. I thought it was. Yeah.
Oh God, no.
I thought you were rubbing it like it
no,
was
no,
like
no, I'm just rubbing
like it was itching, and I was like,
Fucking
stop doing
it's
that.
just his.
me
That's his
being-
tick.
being weird,
Yeah.
It's, I got that
Yeah,
in
we're
Belgium.
pretty intimidating guys.
Very, very, very hungover in Belgium with our old head brewer, and we went to a place, and they had this on the wall. It was like a natural wine bar, And I was like, dude, we should get that tattooed
That's
the next
fucking baller,
day.
yeah.
And then we did. And the guy was playing, I think it was Rage Against the Machine. And this guy had like tattoos all over his face.
Yeah,
So we
he's
go
a
to this-
tattoo artist.
well, no. We go to this
But even
tattoo
that's a
shop.
little intense.
And there's this dude. He's super hip looking dude. Comes down. He's like, oh hi. And it's like cute, like young girl who's like the receptionist. And I'm like, this is the place, man. This is really good. They all, he's got really tasteful sleeves. And he goes, yeah. And then like as we're talking to him, this fucking dude comes down from upstairs, and he's like, big head. And has like Arabic across his forehead and like upside down crosses and just like crazy shit on his face. Everything is tattooed. And I was just like, this is gonna be the guy, isn't it? Like these two other people, I was like, this would be great. Like these guys look like the people you'd see at really a good tattoo place, like the places that I would go in Denver. And then this guy comes downstairs like, this is a fucking guy, and he's like chew. He doesn't have gum, but looks like he's like chewing gum.
Chewing all the time.
He's
yeah.
got like that kinda
jaw's
like-
moving. Yeah.
Yeah. Like some kind of stimulant sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
He's
Like he can't help it.
he's
Yeah.
just kind of grinding his teeth, and he's just sitting there like with his arms crossed, just kind of grinding his teeth. And I was just like, oh fuck, this is gonna be the guy. God damn it, here we go.
Yeah.
And he's playing, I think it was Rage Against the Machine or something like, I don't know. And he's got a foot pedal, right? Like I guess that's what they do. And
Yeah.
he's tapping it.
He's got a double bass pedal actually.
He's tapping it like this. He's tattooing with
Fuck you!
like,
I won't do what you tell
yeah,
me.
like with the beat.
I won't
And
do
I was
what you
like,
tell
bro,
me.
what do you do? He's just I got it here. I stood up. My face is gray.
Really? Yeah.
It's
You're in so
there's
much
ink
Yeah,
pain.
it seems
all
terrible.
the fuck over me. And the other guy, he goes second, and he's like literally halfway through. I saw how much ink was flying over, and this guy's just tapping his foot to the Rage Against the Machine. That's how he's tattooing you. And he's like, I almost bailed on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
he-
it's on your bicep.
it
It's gotta be
was-
fucking
Oh, dude,
gnarly,
it was.
too.
It bled for like 4. It was the worst. I don't know what he did. It's in there. It's on the bone. Probably when I die, you're gonna see some sort of outline of this, like in there on like my humerus.
Sick.
It's yeah.
pretty
That's
hardcore.
pretty metal. Yeah.
It was wild.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm like going to like this like Belgian pharmacy and be like, do you have like Neosporin? Because this is gonna get infected. I'm pretty sure.
For sure.
I'm gonna lose this arm.
No, just pour some booze on it. It's
It was
fine. It's got the
scabby. It
natural.
was scabby
Yeah.
for like many weeks. It was
Very, very long.
really wild.
Fuck, that's wild.
Anyway,
Let's get back
so-
to these shitty.
Yeah, I feel like you're trying
yeah.
to change the subject.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know how long this podcast can possibly go, but we're trying to.
No, they'll edit out
We're
a
almost.
lot.
Yeah, we're almost
the
out of here,
the
don't
whole
worry.
story was for naught. That's
It's your
totally
guys'
fine.
fault for having fun. Like that's
Yeah,
usually that's
stop
how this
having fun.
That's how this podcast.
If you have
goes.
fun, we edited that out.
Can we stick to the itinerary, guys? Please, thank you.
That's how this podcast goes. If everybody's having a good time, we just keep
So-
talking. You know, it's like,
Why are you sipping your chug
You
beer?
got
What are
one,
you doing?
I
Corey?
haven't sipped it yet.
Cheater.
I haven't sipped it yet, motherfucker.
Why
I
don't you-
swear
why
to
don't you-
God.
yeah, this one's kind of silly to me. This is another Untapped. It's from Austin L. It's for Gremlin.
Fuck that guy.
Gremlin, fuck that guy.
Oh, what was Gremlin?
Gremlin is lime, mango, and chili.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was you can see? I think what I like about this one is that you can see the conflict happening like while he's giving the review because it's 2.75.
Yeah.
He said strangely spicy and acid. Tastes good, but also like instant heartburn. Hard to evaluate. So I feel like while he was giving this review, he was torn
drinking
between
it, yeah.
the flavor on his tongue
Your
and the
reflux-
pain of his chest.
Your
You know
reflux
what I mean?
is not our
It's
problem.
kind
Like
of
that's
fucking-
not.
Yeah.
It was kind of. I know. I
I
just
could see spicy and sour
I-
beer being not good if you have
But
heartburn.
But I just, I honestly, I felt.
could see that.
It was weird how like
I don't
saw-
think you should rate it down, though. But you know,
Well, I just like I picked that one because in my mind I can just see somebody in their living room being torn. Just
they're
kind of
like they drink it and they're like, "This is." Oh, but
I
also-
like this, but I'm in so
minutes
much
later, they're
pain.
like, Hold on.
Exactly what I
But
expected. and
also
I'm mad about
heartburn.
it.
God.
That would be me, but I wouldn't write a review. But I would definitely be like, "Oh my god, this is good."
But the
Well, it
the
takes
real
a
like
special kind
God,
of person to write a review.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't get heartburn until I was like 28, 29. Because after the brewery, I had a Bloody Mary, and I literally sat in my car. I thought I was having a heart attack. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh no, oh no!"
that's what this
it gets
feels
worse and worse.
And my
every
buddy was like,
fucking month for me.
"Bro, you just had like 4 of these super spicy Bloody Marys." He's like, "You have heartburn." I was like, "Is that what it's like?" He's like- and this is the guy who gets it all like, he's like spaghetti, he gets heartburn. He's like, yeah. He's like, I get that all the time. And I was like, "Oh,
It's
dude, I
brutal.
feel bad for you." I was like, "It feels like I'm having a heart attack." And he's like, that's why they call it that. I was like,
Yeah.
interesting. And it went away after like 10 minutes. And he was like, cool. Never talk to me about heartburn again. You know? He's like, you never felt that. I was like, no.
Oh god. Yeah, I get it more.
Good thing
and
he
more
was there
now.
to save you.
I just
you
don't
know?
care. I literally was about to be like, should I call a
gotta
paramedic?
go
Like,
to the
I think
hospital.
I might be I literally was like
Checking your
feeling my
pulse?
pulse. I was like, is it weird? Is it irregular?
He's just like, what the
And
fuck are you
he-
doing?
yeah, this is Mitch. She was like, dude,
Yeah.
it seems like heartburn.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, my pulse isn't weird, so. And he's like, it's heartburn. Shut the fuck up.
My
basically.
body's going numb.
He
'cause
gets
you're
it
freaking
every
out.
day,
Yeah.
no matter what
Yeah,
he does.
yeah,
he drinks
same,
a
yeah.
pilsner and lays down, and he gets heartburn. I'm like,
Dude, I like
wild,
can't
dude. I
lay
can't.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, you got to do the whole
yeah.
sit-up thing. You're
Yeah.
like, does anybody have Tums? Fuck, why don't we just have
Dude,
these around?
I've
Why
had it-
don't we
I've
have
had
these
it
around?
once since then. Like that's like. I
Oh,
don't
you
get it.
lucky
I don't
fuck.
get it. I don't get it. It's just,
I do
yeah.
eat chicken wings 5 days a week, though. So I mean, part of it's on me.
I
Yeah.
eat the chicken wing equivalent, whatever it is, like
Yeah.
the greasy,
Yeah.
shitty,
Yeah, that's the keto diet. Everybody I know now that's on keto, they're like, you can eat as many chicken wings as you want. I'm like, okay, we'll see how this goes. I just like,
Like
yeah.
you can wrap your chicken wings in bacon and dip it in mayo.
Yeah, man, I
Sounds
can't.
great.
I'm
It's
so,
healthy.
I don't know. I don't know how that actually works. I'm not a scientist, but it just always seems to be so funny that there are people like, yeah, you can just lose weight eating chicken wings and bacon. And I'm just like, I just don't.
It's true.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a fact.
yeah,
yeah,
But you gotta like commit to that.
So
just
I
that,
actually
right?
lost 40 pounds on keto.
Yeah.
I've since gained it all back.
Yeah, me
but,
too.
Yeah.
If you were to look at me like, like July of last year is about my lowest.
Yeah.
I lost like 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And now I'm right exactly.
But
back where
how,
I
so
started.
I guess I'm curious
you
about like how
stop-
hard, but how? Okay, so even let's say you did keto, lost the weight.
Yeah.
If you get off keto, but you still eat healthy, do you still pack on like a bunch more weight?
I doubt it, but the thing is, it's eating healthy. Like keto doesn't work. Like
it does.
no, it fucking doesn't. Keto works for a year, and
Yeah.
then it doesn't work because if you, you
I mean, you can't just go back to eating like shit and then. I mean,
right,
that's not.
but
But
you
no
like
one.
shit
No one
rules,
says
but
you.
everybody does, right? Because you reinvent your
Yeah,
diet
that's
in
not
a
true.
really bad way. And then what happens to most people is that they're like, all right, I'm gonna do chicken wings and beer, right? And they
Great.
reintroduce slowly, and then it's like I'm gonna do like garlic bread, and like I'm speaking from experience, right?
Sure.
And then it's like I eat like fucking pizza and tacos and whatever.
None of this is keto. You're
No,
just
no,
going-
I'm saying like
he's
post. I'm
after
saying
he's
yeah,
going
post,
wild.
post keto.
After
yeah.
keto, you just
Right,
go
yeah.
wild. Well, that's the problem.
Yeah, because you're going from like
Yeah.
diet elimination. If you were to do keto and then actually like to like lose weight quickly and then to be like, okay, I'm gonna eat healthy vegetables, healthy carbs.
Yes.
I'm not gonna like load up on bullshit. Then like yes, you would probably keep the weight.
Or just
off,
like
sure.
reasonably count your calories of what you
Yeah.
think.
But-
But
yeah.
the thing about keto is you don't have to. Like you can just
Right.
go ape shit.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
you still somehow lose weight.
I
You're
used
like,
to eat
how
a
is this
ribeye
possible?
every fucking night.
Yeah.
Wild.
Like a
Yeah.
1,300 calorie ribeye.
That
I would just be
rules.
like, fuck
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
turns out
it's
you
great.
your body can only process so many calories of fat, especially.
Right.
But
Yeah.
carbs, it can process everything you put in.
But the thing, I mean, God,
Yeah.
it just eating super healthy. It just sucks. It's so boring.
Yeah,
It is
Yeah.
so
Sucks.
boring. I mean, it's that my half of my life is just finding this balance between like I really love eating junk food, but I also like being healthy, right? So just striking that balance, and that's its own torment
Yeah.
in and of
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
Where you're just like you're not willing to just let go, and you're not committed to the lifestyle either, right? So then you just live in,
Also, like,
limbo.
We should just do a podcast about how much eating healthy sucks.
Yeah, this is a keto podcast we're talking on
It's a-
right
it's a
now. What's
anti-keto.
happening?
stop record, and then
Yeah.
we're gonna hit it again.
Right, yeah.
Start
Listen,
doing-
it doesn't matter like how healthy you eat, how many miles you jog, whatever the fuck you do, you're going to die.
Yes.
And like
Not
why
me.
like nice.
No,
No, he's
I'm
gonna
live
upload his
forever.
consciousness and then.
Yeah, okay, great, yeah.
We're at the cusp of that. It could happen.
Yeah, that's
So-
a fair point. I don't fucking
Yeah,
care,
Black
dude.
Mirror's
I
not
go
wrong.
I go on hikes every
saw that Black
weekend. I
Mirror
ride
episode,
my
right?
bike like 50 miles a week. I lift,
probably.
whatever.
Yeah, I've seen
and
them
I
all.
eat however the
talk
fuck
about it in a
I
second.
want.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I look
Good.
like how I look, and it doesn't matter to me. Like,
Right.
you
Because
know.
you're doing the thing. You're doing the
Yeah,
stuff.
let
You're
me
doing
tell
the
you
I'm
thing.
this.
happy about it. Yeah, I'm
Nothing
not happy about, but I'm
actually
happy about
matters.
life.
Yes.
Yeah. I could probably drink like 2 less beers a day and I drink every day too. And that's like, and I'm not
sure.
ashamed about that.
Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Here, and yet here we are. Hey, hey.
He can't drink it because it's.
Cheers, 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 cheers. I didn't want you to feel left out. I think you're
Great.
I think you're cool.
So yeah. So my whole point is fuck it and do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
48
absolutely.
seconds.
Yeah.
Well, you know what doesn't make people happy is this. I've got one more review. This is
yeah.
Of course,
This
yeah.
is a 2-part review. This
Okay.
is 2 parts here.
Okay.
So, 7 months ago,
Okay.
Garrett Shane Bryant posts on Google.
3 first names. People make fun of
Garrett
me for 2.
Shane Bryant.
3 first names.
Bryant is the last
Corey
name.
David. We
That's
can talk
right.
What's your middle name now?
It's David.
Corey Shane.
So that's the
David.
part of talking. We can talk about it now. So
No,
my
no, no,
last
no,
name-
let's get through this.
I'm just
Let's
trying
get
to
through
interrupt
this.
the bad reviews as much as possible.
I really want this Brian.
People will only listen to so long of a podcast. So if we just distract, and they'll just shut it off before
That's
we
not
get.
true.
It does not
Dude,
true.
Joe
Our-
Rogan.
our
I'm
most-
like
no.
3.5
Hey, our
hour
most-
Joe
podcast.
Rogan.
Our most downloaded episode is our longest episode.
Oh,
Who's that
let's
with?
keep it
It was
going.
Cricket's Dave.
How
Let's keep it
many,
going.
It was 3 hours.
Was it
3
who?
hours?
Who'd you have from Cricket Stave on?
I was Chad.
Chad and our friend Comic Aaron Mass.
Yeah, so Aaron and Chad went to high school together, so it just turned into a
Yeah.
fucking
Sure, yeah,
debaucherous
yeah,
hang.
yeah.
You know,
Fuck yeah, yeah.
It was great.
Well, we're at like 2 hours right now, so we got an hour.
Yeah.
I got time.
We're at like 2.5.
Yeah.
Go on,
Garrett
go on.
Shane Bryant
Yes.
says.
I just want to be longer than Chad.
You are, buddy. I've seen it. You whipped it out already.
Oh boy.
This says.
Unfortunately, there's a camera, so no one will believe you.
Whoa! Whoa! Wow!
Is that a baby arm holding an apple? What's
Garrett Shane Bryant
Yeah.
says, call ahead. This is Google, by the way.
Oh, this fucking guy. All right.
Yeah, this fucking guy. Call ahead. They're not open. The hours stated on the website, Yelp, or Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett B on Yelp 7 months ago says, call ahead because they're
It's the
not
same guy.
open the hours
I responded.
stated on this
Well, he
site,
responded, then I responded.
Google or Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the key, is that he edited both the responses on Google and Yelp.
He made him lower because I responded with a screenshot
That's not
of our
true.
hours.
That's not
Okay.
true. You did
Okay.
respond with screenshots.
Okay, yeah.
On Google,
That matched.
the edit the edit goes, it went from, okay, it says edit, I changed my 0 rating to 3 but also added screen caps of all the hours specified with no mention of takeout versus dine-in, and dine-in is in quotes. So he added
Right.
3 stars on Google, but on Yelp he says edit, thanks COO Alex for writing me to tell me to read the listed hours more thoroughly.
It's not him, but
Yeah, different Alex.
Okay.
Yeah.
different Alex.
Not cool, Alex.
Yeah, because he posted. No, but this guy posted screenshots. If you look at the screenshots, they match.
Yeah.
I've
wild.
uploaded pictures of
Heaven
the listed
forbid.
times. Feel free to show me what I read incorrectly. So he gave you stars back on Google,
Okay.
but did not give you any stars back on Yelp.
Right. I responded later to him on Yelp, and I was like, "Bro, your screenshots match."
Also, like, set,
You
I
said,
recall. Okay.
Well, Alex, this is from, you might have said it, but it says
Alex said
read.
it, but then you only get one response on Yelp.
Hey Garrett, thanks
So
for
after
reaching
that, it was
out.
just a message
I
to him.
apologize for any
Yeah.
confusion, but the hours listed on those platforms are indeed correct. We are currently open as they state. There's Tuesday through Thursday 2 to 6 for pickup and takeout, Friday 4 to 9, and Saturday 2 to 9 for dine-in or takeout. We'd love to have you in for a beer. Hope you will reconsider the 1-star rating. Feel free to reach out anytime at alex.bennett@blackprojectbeer.com.
Yeah.
So you did respond.
Yeah,
But that one
Benton did. Yeah.
did not get you any stars back. So
No.
But
No, and then
also-
then I also he responded. So at a certain point, he can't post a response to that. It just becomes a message to us. So then I responded to him, and it was like way later, and he was like, "Oh, so you can respond?" And I was like, "Bro, your pictures show the hours all
yeah,
matching."
he fucked up.
And he was like, "Well, it doesn't say to go versus dine." I was like, "You know what? Like, there's a pandemic."
Yeah.
And these platforms are not set up for that. All I can do
Right.
is post my
Things
hours.
are changing like
And
every
not
All I
only-
can do is
Yeah,
post my
yeah.
hours, man.
Absolutely.
All I can do is post my hours.
The big takeaway is fuck him.
Yeah,
fuck him.
he
And
went
how
on
invested is
two.
he? He's doing it on multiple platforms.
Multiple
When was it? I
platforms.
feel like when was
what
that?
a
September.
sad
September.
sack
Yeah, it
of
was like
shit.
it was like
Yeah.
shit. Like when he came here, like most places were to go on. Like you go to like a restaurant, they were like to go on.
Yeah.
It was like shit was shut down. I was like,
Bro,
bro,
like
like
goddamn surprise.
and
Dude,
he's
I
from
get being
Kentucky.
frustrated. I
So
get
he's
being
probably
frustrated
it probably
about
is a
it, but,
surprise to him. He's from Louisville.
Yeah.
Whoa,
I think it's
whoa, whoa,
Lewis.
I think it's Louisville. I think it's Louisville.
Louisville. He's from Louisville.
Louisville.
He's from Louisville.
Yeah.
And like I mean I get it might be a surprise,
Right
but
next
like
to Peru.
you know it's funny because people don't see that, and it's like, bro, when I go to adjust Google, there's no way to be like this one's to go, this one's not to go. This
Also,
is
like-
not a way. This is not a way to do it, man. And like it's a pandemic and it's weird.
People are out of
Things
touch.
are weird.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's normal times, I get it. That would be weird on our part. But it's like, guy, just we were not closed
Yeah.
during the
Have a
time.
goddamn
you thought-
heart, also. You
We
know what
were-
I mean?
but we
Like
were
you
not
want to spend
close.
time like giving somebody a bad fucking
Yeah.
a
He's
bad
acting
rating
like
or
he
whatever.
came here and the door was locked. It wasn't true.
The worst
It was
part
just to
about
go
it-
over
Yeah,
it.
the worst
Yes.
part about it is like he's like coming here to like support a business that he like believes in, and then he's like, no, fuck that.
Forget their
all over
fucking-
the internet. All over the internet.
Yeah, man, that's the life.
Whatever,
man.
a little keyboard
Fuck 'em.
warrior. That's
Fuck
fine. Yeah,
'em.
fuck 'em. Yeah.
Well, shit, dude.
You
Is
got
there-
any more, Corey?
No, man. I think that's a great place to end it. Don't be a shitty customer because these guys not only
Fucking
make
assholes.
not only make great beer, but they're fucking awesome people. Which
And
is
if you're a
why-
shitty customer, we're gonna laugh at you behind your back.
Yes,
Good.
or on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, on this
So-
podcast mostly.
Possibly,
yeah.
So can I try this again?
Oh, you're gonna go for it
One
again?
of them wasn't.
Yeah.
One of them
more
wasn't
chug?
really that shitty though.
Oh,
I feel
shit.
like
You're already in the top
The
10.
heartburn guy. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know. That's why I said like sometimes
Fair
like
enough, man. That's
sometimes
the
I don't
internet.
want to see. Sometimes it's not just shitty reviews. Sometimes I'm
ready
just
for
like
when
it's
I'm
just
ready?
something
Fair
that comes to mind and strikes my.
What
chord,
do you think
know?
about this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man. Sour beer gives heartburn.
What are you chugging this time?
It's again
It's the same one. It's the
uh,
same one. Here we go. All right.
East
Is
Coast
this the only one
Transport.
on?
You gotta
that's
drink
over
it in like
8.5%?
less than 3 seconds. You gotta really loosen your throat.
I know
up.
what happens, and you pointed out is halfway through. I
Do you
take
want
a
to
breath.
pause it for a
Yeah,
second?
dude, you gave me some shit for it, but I saw it, and that we've done this so many times now that
Yeah,
I'm like,
he's
I
seen a lot.
saw when they
Yeah.
had there was a little bit of a
This is
pause.
it's the bubble. It's like the beer fest.
Das
bubble.
Boot.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do it.
it's the bubble or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
We killed him.
Oh, yeah.
no,
Yes,
no.
come on,
Here's
don't
the
stop, don't
breath.
stop,
No,
don't stop,
no.
don't stop,
Obviously
don't stop.
longer. I can tell it's longer. That
It
seems
was
longer.
longer.
Yeah,
It was-
it seems
Fuck.
longer.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I
know.
could tell right off the beginning. You started slow. You started slow.
I did hesitate.
But I'm happy that you
You
tried,
started slow.
and I hope you are too.
I like to critique your chug.
Yeah, that's
you
the
just
goal.
like-
Yeah,
what
that's
am
what we're
I-
supposed
I'm
to
over
do.
there at like a minute 24
That's what we're
seconds.
supposed to do.
I improved it to 1 minute 21 or something.
But isn't that how reviewers work? You know what I mean? It's
true.
like you don't
It's
do
true.
the thing
Yeah.
very well.
At
You
least
just
I've done it,
Yeah,
which
you
is
can
interesting.
drink it.
I've done it.
All right, well.
Most reviewers
There you go,
I
don't do it.
appreciate the effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're still so.
You're
happy
still
that
in the
you're
top 10, so
Yeah.
nothing to be
Yeah.
ashamed about.
Is
Yeah.
Caps in front of me right now? That's all I
No,
care about.
no,
Absolutely
I don't think
not.
No?
No.
All
I
right.
gotta go
He's
back
just
and look
skiing.
through the time,
That's
but I
all.
don't
No,
think so, yeah.
he got knocked out. He's out.
He's
He's
skiing.
done.
He's skiing.
He's just gone.
He's
He's in his van
Uh,
now.
you guys,
He's in his van, not on the top 10.
not the worst van, but yeah.
No, it's a nice van.
No, it is a
I'm
nice
jealous
van.
of the
Yeah,
van,
yeah,
to be clear.
It's got a pretty good rig. Anything you guys want to plug
Yeah.
before we get out of here?
Yeah, a couple things.
Oh, wow, you have a lot of ideas. Okay.
Yeah. So
Well, he just chugged an 8.5%.
I can
so
think of a
he
couple
is
things to
feeling-
plug.
yeah, here we go.
Feisty.
Yeah,
I can think
yeah.
of a few things.
Also,
TNT
real,
in
real
that
quick,
beer.
if I could say three things.
Say as many as you want.
Okay, first is gonna be a joke. Why does Dr. Pepper come in a bottle?
Because he got canned.
Because his wife died.
Boy, there's 23 things fucked up about
I'm
that.
gonna do it. All right, what happens when you mix human DNA and goat DNA?
The seaman crossed the road.
You get kicked out of the petting zoo.
That's quality.
Are we having a joke off right now?
Yeah, we should just let him rip.
We joking off?
Off when I'm alone.
Oh shit! Damn.
Keep some
damn.
coming. It's a good tag. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
In a couple
That
days.
was really all you had in your mind.
Honestly, yeah. Oh, dude, I
just wanted
panic
to say
Googled.
that.
I panic Googled all these jokes. Yeah, these aren't my jokes.
That's all right.
Yeah. I stole them. I stole
It's
them.
hard to
as fuck.
write. an
That's true of
original.
everybody that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a brewer on this, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a creative in the way that you guys are. Like my mind works totally different. Okay.
Okay.
Thing two, we have a new beer coming out. To collab with OMF that I'm super excited about.
great.
Yeah.
Data
Data
lore.
Yeah, Data Lore.
Yeah.
Data
Yeah.
lore. It's named after Star Trek.
Yeah. So
Apparently
we're actually.
Jan is like into Star Trek.
Yeah. He and
I
Jake
was like, why
both
did we?
love it.
Why
yeah.
did we name it this? And
Yeah.
like, they like Star Trek. I was like, well, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So Data Lore is
Yeah, Jan's
ours.
a nerd.
It's a barrel blend. Yeah.
They blended. They
Yeah,
blended.
it's a barrel blend with elderflower.
Cool.
And then at their place, we did a like table beer with Grungeist. So they're both slated to release on the 1st.
What is theirs called? What's it called at their place?
Suddenly Human, which is another episode of Star Trek.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it just worked. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
It's
that's
fine.
fine.
Grungeist?
It's a hop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
as familiar.
yeah.
Type of hop.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm super excited about that.
Hell yeah, man.
Very
That's
cool.
that's fucking
Cool.
sick.
Yeah.
And we love those guys too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that,
like
is
I
that
said, we
going to be
just
packaged?
Yeah, so they
Data
can-
Lore is packaged.
Yeah, Data Lore is in bottles.
Yeah.
Suddenly Human is canned. I'm not going to speak for OMF because they can conditioned, so I don't know if it's going to be on the 1st that it's released, but
We
that
don't
was like
know. Yeah.
the goal.
Well, hopefully we'll have a little bit here. Yeah.
So that's what we're
Sweet.
excited about. Yeah.
Fuck
cool.
yeah, dude. That's
my
that's
plug.
awesome.
How long was your longest episode so far?
3.
3.
Is that the? I feel like Breck was like 320.
You think so?
Breckenridge Brewery?
Yeah,
We had a great time.
yeah.
What
They
are you
were.
gonna say? What are you gonna say? You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
We had an
man.
awesome time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy you had a good time.
We had fun. They wined and dined the shit out of us.
Yeah.
So that we
Yeah.
could be corporate shills.
I was
as
gonna
well.
say, when you have the AB money, you
Oh, we
can-
don't. Yeah, we don't deny any part of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
any of the Budweiser, we've had 10 Barrel on and we've had Breck on, and that comes up every episode. I am
Yeah.
not shy about
Yeah.
bringing that
Yeah,
up. You
yeah.
know, but at the end, ultimately, the goal of the show is to
They're
have
well
fun.
trained on what line to say.
Yeah, and I
Also, they gave me a cool jacket. So
Nice.
he was bought. He was bought.
Yeah.
They easily paid for my soul. Actually,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what I
that's all it
gave them.
takes. Yeah, it's this
Yeah.
sweet Denver Broncos jacket.
Oh, hey.
It is pretty dope. I
It's-
do like that
it's-
jacket.
I do. I get lots of compliments on it, and really, all I need in life is compliments. That's all I've ever wanted.
I mean, that's why we do comedy. So
We don't,
yeah,
even
yeah.
have, we don't even have jackets. I don't even have a jacket in the winter. I just wear a hoodie and cold.
Yeah. I wear
So
T-shirts.
I
I
don't
don't
even
have the
know.
money to
It's
buy
wild.
a
Yeah, of
jacket.
course.
Neither do I. That's why it was so nice.
Right
to
now,
not
so
have to
I
pay
can
for
I can
one.
see that. I can see that.
it's
Next
really
time you're there,
more out of need.
we.
Yeah, if you want to, I'm
Yeah.
a size large. If you want to just,
Sure.
Oh, I meant, if they wanted to buy a brewery.
I don't think Black Project makes
I'm
the capital to
kidding.
interest AB.
I'm ready to upgrade this sailboat. Let's fucking
$2,000 yacht.
Let's
I know people
go.
who sold their breweries to AB and they're doing okay. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I bring it up on every.
And I don't fault them for doing it. Also,
Yeah.
Sure.
I say that.
Yeah. And we don't. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Breckenridge, was a a staple brand for the craft beer community. Is a staple brand. Like I'll
Was.
still.
But they went big on
Okay.
their thing, and then they didn't have the money to finish it, so they had
Yeah.
to get bailed out by AB.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's literally
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah,
that's not.
you-
That's not inside
Yeah.
ball.
No,
it's
I
not.
mean like selling. Yeah.
Well, usually where I go is the people at the breweries tend to be very happy, right?
Yeah.
Like when you
Yeah,
go
man.
when you talk to people that work at 10 Barrel, Devil's Backbone, Breckenridge, people are very happy, and
those are union jobs.
they're taken care of pretty well, right?
They make a lot.
What
of
I
money.
have also
And
heard,
it's-
what I've also heard is that working for AB Direct not as much fun
Yeah.
at all, right? And then the other part that I do always bring it up is like I don't love the marketing practices, right? Like I don't like the fact that you overspend on marketing budget so that you can push other people out,
Yeah.
right? Like so when you go up to Copper, for example,
Yeah.
and 10 Barrel's plastered everywhere. It's because they had the money from Budweiser to be able to afford to do that, even if
Yeah.
it's at a loss,
Right.
right? So that
Yeah.
it's like a marketing effort. It's
Yeah.
not
I
really
would,
about volume, right?
Yeah.
So I
If
mean,
there's something else for you to bring up next time, I'd bring up the fact that they typically Anheuser-Busch pays more than $1 million a year in pay-to-play fines.
oh yeah, because they don't
So-
give a
Because
fuck.
you can imagine,
it's
right?
less expensive.
If I got caught buying a draft system for a new restaurant, and the fine was $100,000, I would just go out of business.
yeah, sure. Or
Then
you,
they
or
go,
the
well,
miscellaneous,
over the next 5 years, we're going to sell them $100,000 beer.
or the other
Done.
one is just
if
the
we get caught, we pay it.
the
No problem.
miscellaneous check or debit card run that just goes to the business without
Yeah.
it having translated
Yeah,
to volume, right?
they pay a lot of
Yeah.
fines that
Yeah.
craft breweries couldn't pay. Even
Yeah.
somebody like New Belgium couldn't.
Yeah.
It's the fine should be larger and should be proportionate to the size of the business.
It should be
in my
proportionate to
opinion.
the size. Yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
It's not like they get $1 million fine. They get a lot of small fines because
Yeah.
they just don't care and they just
Yeah.
pay it. They have a budget item.
Yeah,
for
if
it,
you
probably.
if you know that it's only going to be a blip in the bucket,
They
then-
literally have a budget item.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
a line on the
Yeah.
spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Potential fines.
I know.
No problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get
I
it,
know
yeah.
you know. I'm not.
So we had no, but I know that's stuff that's worth talking about. I like talking about that shit because that's the world that I used to live in, and particularly with sales, right? Like,
I mean,
you
it
get-
happens on smaller scale too, but
Oh, we did it all
It's
the
a
time.
big- it's big
I mean,
risk.
I don't
It's
work
big
for these
risk.
businesses anymore. I don't give
yeah,
a fuck,
yeah.
right?
Well, you
I
work
mean,
for
there was-
pretty big breweries.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
big risk.
I don't
For
mind.
those breweries, it's big
Yeah.
risk.
Yeah, but there. I mean, hey, man,
Yeah.
there's times where I was just like, hey, I don't want to come in here and do a promo because that doesn't really fucking matter. Can I
Yeah.
just run my card for $100?
Right.
And just so that I don't have to come.
Yeah.
Damn.
Because I want so that way I can just like go do anything
Yeah.
else with my life.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, all people wanted was the money.
Yeah.
They're like, we want you to come in. And, we'll put your beer on, but we want you to come do a promo.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Right.
okay, cool. I'll bring some glasses and I'll buy some beers for some people. And they're like, well, how much are you gonna spend?
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you just want the money, can we just save our?
Let me
Should we save both of us some
Just
time?
say I bought $100 of beer.
and
right
there's
now.
a $100 lunch,
And
like
then
right
don't
now.
worry about
You
it.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
But
you
I
could-
mean, they go to restaurants that are opening and
Yeah.
they say, you need, but they're not open yet. They haven't built out yet. And they go,
Right.
You need to put a draft system in.
no, yeah,
It's
yeah.
$10,000.
They'll pay for the system.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a 12
Yeah.
tap. Well, we get maybe 12, maybe 10.
Say 12. Yeah, 8
Right?
to 12.
yeah, and it's hard for a
and-
smaller
and
brewery
now-
that's just trying to go in basically just on merit, right? Like
Right.
you're just
Dude,
going
and
in on
inevitably
liquid
that's
and,
going
like,
to be their Mexican lager and their Budweiser and Bud Light,
Yeah.
right? But then what IPA they're going to have? Oh, is their sour is 10 barrel? And
Yeah,
their IPA is
exactly.
Well,
Breckenridge.
it's always-
and shocking that this is what happens.
It's
Yeah.
always
And,
pretty easy to tell, and you can fudge the numbers a little bit more when it's like a distributor deal more than anything.
which it usually is.
when you walk
Yeah.
when you walk into a bar and it's all Budweiser products, even the craft,
Yeah.
right?
They're
And-
like high end brand.
Sure, but it's it's Bud Light, it's any other Bud brand, and then their Bud craft brands. Like,
Platinum.
but because
Platinum is a craft brand. I
with
believe.
It is on
I haven't seen a lot of Platinum, but I do miss seeing smashed blue glass on the sidewalk all the time.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
God, that
Yeah.
was so lovely.
That's-
I'm like, what night did you had a Platinum?
The
Yeah.
That's
people
what you
who
kind of
smash
had.
glass,
Yeah.
they're drinking platinum.
But so they
Yeah.
get keg discounts because they bought in volume, right? So as soon as you reach a quantity discount with the distributor, you're like, okay, we get this for X amount of
But
dollars.
it's the same
now there's
thing,
way less.
but you get that discount on your Breckenridge or your Elysian or whatever.
Yeah, well, and
Yeah.
the discount is like you're going from like $80 a half barrel to like $60
They
a
go
half
cheap.
barrel,
Yeah.
and it's like, what the fuck?
yeah.
But your Budweiser cans count towards that.
Yeah.
And shit. Like it's like
Right, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So because
Yeah.
it's with the
Right.
distributor, they
Which
get
is-
all the
yeah.
it's a quantity based on the
Yeah.
entire order.
you have 10
not-
taps. You're
not
gonna
a s-
hit it.
Yeah.
You couldn't hit a quantity discount with somebody who only has one handle. Like,
Right.
how would that possibly happen?
Yes.
Not like that. Yeah. yeah. Right. I mean, it's not gonna. So.
Well, I
Anyway.
mean, man, we could talk at length for that.
Yeah,
about
I
that
think
as
we
well.
solved all the world's problems though, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fair. Steve's got a new PS5 that he needs to get home
Nice.
to.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
can you guys
Nice.
get the fuck out, please?
Please, yeah, no worries. I'm happy to handle that for you.
Jesus.
So hey, check out some of our new stand-up shows that we've got going on at breweries all over town at rotating.comedy.com.
Keep an eye out. We got a new show that will be announced probably by the time this episode comes
Yeah,
out.
so you can probably just say it. They made an
at-
announcement about the new venue today.
The
so.
Lodge at Woods Boss
Yeah.
is a new venue for comedy for us, so
Really
keep an
stoked
eye out for
about that.
those shows.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really killer.
It's an
It's gonna be like
event
110 people venue
Nice.
with light, stage, sound, the whole deal. Yeah, we're really excited about it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a great spot for comedy. So
Yeah, check out our shows.
Check out all the social media stuff, the website, the whole deal. And yeah, thank you guys very much for being on the show.
Yes,
for having us.
thank you.
Yeah,
thanks for
of
having
course.
The
us.
reason we asked you back, and we're
Yeah.
the length of the episode will show that for sure.
Yes.
Yikes.
Yes.
All right. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
well, yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
It'll take one more time to beat that record, but
We got it.
We'll get you
do
back.
it. We'll do
We'll get there.
it. Hell
Make it
yeah.
happen. All right, peace out.